spent 90 minutes on the stage debating the guy who has the morals of an alley cat.
Well, Vice President Kamala Harris responding to criticism of the president's performance, admitting he had a slow start but called it a strong finish. The latest pre-debate Fox News polling had President Biden leading the race against former President Trump for the first time in months. But again, there's some concerns. Let's go to Fox's Aisha Hosni in Atlanta for more.
We are all here talking about that one moment seen all across the world where even Democrats were wondering what is going on.
Everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
So there was actually an audible gasp in the press room when that happened. It seemed as though the president had frozen. And that was just the beginning of what some Democrats themselves are saying was a disappointing and very poor performance.
Well, Aisha actually asked a question to California Governor Gavin Newsom. He dodged it regarding whether he might be willing or able to replace President Biden on the ticket in theory. And the Biden campaign came out with a news release this morning, highlight what they say were 50 of Trump's lies.
A campaign email this morning reads, all 50 of Trump's lies, 16 more lies than felonies, 48 more lies than impeachments. Now, this was their strategy even ahead of the debate last night. They issued a pre-debate memo with a list of, quote, important Trump lies to look out for. And this is what First Lady Jill Biden said at a watch party right after the debate.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
And that's Fox's Jackie Heinrich. America's listening to Fox News.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
If you've got a military, first responder, or government service background, GovX.com is for you. You stepped up to serve our country and communities, and GovX delivers unbeatable deals that you've earned. GovX.com is the only site built exclusively to honor your service. Members save on thousands of trusted brands, tickets, travel, and more. See if you qualify. Visit GovX.com and join for free today. Use code RADIO15 in the shopping cart to get an extra $15 off your first order. GovX. Savings for those who serve.
Hey, doggy. I love the sound of this pretty tune. 303, and it's only me, it's only the Kimmer on 106.3. Let It Rip Friday, anything goes with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, sports raconteur extraordinaire. And the mechanical magnet at the controls, Flounder. And Friday, here we go. Oh, mercy. We'll be talking a lot about last night, that's for sure. And in fact, we'll be joined, Neil Bortz, around 5 o'clock today, a little after 5. And Shannon Burke will be coming up with us in 10 or 15 minutes, I think. We'll chat with him for a while and see what's going on down in Van Country, Florida, now that he's got a little extra free time. And we'll start off talking about the debate. And really, I have to say about it is Saturday. Oh, my God. And I'm loving the reaction. And this, I mean, it's just, we'd love to hear from you, by the way. I've got a lot of comments, Pete and Flounder, the whole team here, but we'd love to hear from you. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And and also the Supreme Court ruling was good news for the January 6th defendants. And by the way, this is the first of a lot of those rulings coming up, I think. Anyway, how you doing? It's Friday. Pete Davis, what's new in the mountains of Macon? It's a beautiful summertime-like day, sir.
As Monty Python likes to say, it's all over but the shouting. Dr. Jill's shouting today, and Joe's shouting because I don't debate very well anymore, but by golly, I'm in it to win it.
Well, we've got, in fact, the New York Post has a bunch of memes. We've got a bunch of comments
Say
and
it
stuff.
Ain't Joe.
Say it ain't Joe.
I'll be saying goodnight. I hate to go and leave this pretty side.
Farewell. Goodbye. Oh, mercy. Anyway, Flounder, what's new with you on this? Did you watch any or most of the debate?
I watched the majority of it, so, I mean, it was, what a nightmare.
You know, in fact, I started watching it and then it got to the point, honestly, when I think the first time he froze, I actually have a list of, chronologically what I was taking notes on.
It became cringeworthy whenever he would talk.
Honestly, I'm not making this up, about probably, it was at 9 o'clock, about probably 9:15, something like 9:12, 9:15, I finally said, I just really can't concentrate like this. It's driving me crazy how angry I was becoming about what I was witnessing in my country. So I went in, I had my typewriter right behind me in my living room. Well, Flounder knows, he's helped me set the stuff up there. And so I started working on birthdays and histories for today because I was so aggravated that I was just so angry about what was happening. And my take on this is, and we'll get your point too. I'm furious. I watched that and I'm furious at two things. I'm furious at Dr. Jill, the cuckold queen. It's her fault. Again, I said this from the very first day. She should have acted on the day he won. The night he knew he won, or the next morning he won. She should have grabbed him by the collar and said, Joe, congratulations. You're going to be president of the United States. And in 4 years, you're going to retire. You're going to take 4 years to do what you need to do to see what you can do with the country while you have control of the Senate and the House, or possibly the House. Get your party in order, see what's going on, have a nice retirement. You'll be 82 years old. Everybody will be happy, and you'll get the chance for the 4 years for the Democrat Party to come up with a candidate. Who didn't think that would be a great idea? At his age, he won, and they didn't need to have 8 years of him. I mean, who ever thought that was a good idea? That she should have grabbed him? She's the freaking enabler. It's her fault. And everybody in this freaking administration's afraid of her. They're scared of her. She yells at them when he gets caught talking to the media and acting like an idiot, an a-hole. And she yells at the staff members. It's freaking, you're and by the way, you two-timing cuckolding witch. By the way, I just heard apparently she sent a topless selfie of herself to Gavin Newsom. Apparently, I guess. Well, she wrote a meme and it said, well, she cheated on her husband to get her boyfriend and made her boyfriend president of the United States. She can do the same thing for you, Gavin. So anyway, and now that Joe's going to be out, and so I'm absolutely furious about her. It's her fault. I blame her for letting this go. She's the only one who could have stood up to the Obamas. Anyway, secondly, my anger is addressed at the mainstream media and the social media and all. Let me ask you this: I will bet you that there are millions of Americans who watched that debate, or at least watched probably 20 or 30 minutes and got disgusted. But I'll bet you there are millions of Americans who had no idea that Joe Biden had slipped this fall. Remember, it wasn't that long ago for the State of the Union address. And look how different it was from the State of the Union address to show he is not mentally capable. And I'll bet you there are millions of Americans who must have gone, oh my God. And did you see the pictures of the reaction of Democrats in all the Democrat holding areas and stuff when he made his first freeze and they were going, oh God, oh my God. It was hands to the face, covering their eyes. I mean, and again, I blame the freaking, and this is my point about the fake election of last time. The election was stolen. The election was, they didn't have, come up with millions of extra ballots that somebody made up in their garage. I'm not saying that. But the way the media handled the cover-up of Joe Biden from before last night to last night is a perfect example of what they did for the last election. Hiding the facts, hiding the Department of Justice, hiding the pressure put on social media and people to not cover the Hunter laptop, all those things, all the pressure done, all the things to hide the truth. They hid the truth. The media hid the truth. And we're going to hear Morning Joe, the MSNBC homewrecker, his earlier comments and now his today comments. Joining the chorus, you got to get rid of him.
The speed at which they pivoted from he's completely able to do the job to he's got to go is astounding even for them.
Yeah. It really is hard to believe. We'll have a lot of reaction on that. And, in fact,
real quick, we got a couple phone calls as well.
Let's do it. Phone calls take priority. 310-404-741-1230. Hi, you're on the radio. Who's this?
Scotty the window guy.
Scotty the window guy. Hey, by the way, thanks, Scotty. By the way, that was Scotty helped me out yesterday. I didn't know who was sending me information on not Seabiscuit, the other one.
All right, let him talk.
Yeah, go ahead. Scotty the window. What do you think, man?
Well, Semper Fi, welcome home, brother. And also, shout out to Flounder, man, because he set something up for us last night. Us Mafias got to do testing throughout the entire thing.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
I think that Biden just weakened our country last night. I was expecting it, but I was actually blown away, and I thought Trump handled himself perfectly. What say you?
I agree with you. I think Donald Trump was very presidential. When they were going to play the soundbite of them arguing about golf, I mean, there were a couple of points in there, but when they started calling, "Oh, you're the worst president," "No, you're the worst president," "Oh, you're a sucker," "You're a loser," I mean, it was pretty juvenile. But basically, you're right, Donald. And by the way, Donald Trump not only seemed presidential, he was smart. He had his facts. He was typical Donald Trump, the way he's always been. He knew what he was talking about. He was boom, boom, boom. Completely opposite of what Joe White Trash was last night. I think it was a great opportunity for Trump, and I think he pulled it off. I think he did a great job. Scotty, thanks, man. Did we lose him? I cut him off too quick.
No, he's there.
Oh, he's still there. Scotty, what were you saying?
No, he's gone. So sorry, Scotty. Now we got Mitch on the line.
Mitch, you're on the radio, man. Thanks. What's up?
Hey, great show, guys. Just something about the debate last night, which was epic, by the way. But the inevitable is coming up where Fox will have this undecided voter, arena. And to me, it is so mind-boggling how you can live in this political environment and watch all the stuff that we've seen for the past 7.5 years.
Yeah.
Between Trump and this administration, and how you are undecided.
I know.
You're an idiot.
Where do they find these people?
And I love how they say, "Well, I usually vote Democrat, but this year, what are you talking about? I mean, there's no possible way that you're I mean, please."
They've got to be. I mean, seriously, who is undecided at this point in this election cycle?
Well, and again, last night we're going to talk about him talking to the crowds last night, but today he's at a rally in North Carolina, and of course they're all cheering and they're happy and they're, "Yay, Joe, and you're the man." And of course he admitted, I don't.
It was 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Mitch, thanks. 313. Oh, Lordy. I mean, well, here we go. I mean, please join us, 404-741-1230. And I think we're going to join Shannon Burke here fairly shortly.
Yep, he's up next.
Okay, doke. And if you want to talk to him too, join us, 404-741-1230. And play a little music, goodbye music. Hit the road.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Oh, woman. Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the XTRA 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the XTRA 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2024 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. Or the 2024 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right size SUV for all the adventures ahead, with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. No matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
True Prep on Cobb Parkway is your one-stop shop for emergency preparedness supplies, including freeze-dried food, water filtration, first aid, and more. They also have a large selection of firearms, including a huge selection of AR-15s, firearm accessories, and ammo at the lowest prices around. They are locally owned and operated. You can visit their store in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or online at trueprep.com. That's TRU prep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
At the Piedmont Bank, we're proud to be one of Georgia's largest community banks, focusing on serving businesses and the communities they serve. With headquarters right here in Metro Atlanta, our tailored banking expertise and solutions help meet the diverse needs of our customers so they have what it takes to grow, expand, and thrive. It's what elevates us above the rest. Find a location near you at Piedmont.bank and experience elevated banking for you and your business. The Piedmont Bank. Banking elevated. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
There we go. The balances. Bob Dylan. This is sort of the new Bob Dylan. It was 2020. Bob Dylan, #1 on the British chart with his 39th studio album, Rough and Rowdy Ways. At the time, 4 years ago, Dylan was 79, the most senior act ever to top the British chart. It was a best-selling album in America the same week. It made Dylan's highest charting album on the Billboard 200 in more than 10 years. It also marked Dylan's 7th consecutive decade of charting top 40 albums, the first artist ever to accomplish that feat. 7 decades. Oh, man. I mean, that's really hard to imagine. Anyway, 317. This is kind of cute. And by the way, Shannon Burke's joining us in just a second. Kipper, Pete, and Flounder coming up, hold everything. Our birthday list includes Kelly Pickler. This naughty little chickie back many years ago had a song called Red High Heels. I loved that silly song because, as I recall, it was like her boyfriend cheating on her. So she said, I'm going to take my hotness downtown and I'm wearing my red high heels, which is, you see a girl like in tight jeans wearing red high heels. She's saying, come here, baby, kind of deal. Anyway, Kelly Pickler is now doing a reality TV show or something. And for the record, I remember her when she was on the show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Which I think was hosted by our Jeff Foxworthy, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, and she was, God bless her heart, Kelly Pickler was on, and they asked her a question, and she didn't do too well with it. Founder, if you would.
The third grade world geography question is, Budapest is the capital of what European country? Budapest is the capital of what European country? Nathan has already locked in.
This might be a stupid question.
I'm guessing it's probably going to be.
Like, I thought Europe was a country.
Oh, my God.
Dumbass.
I thought you were. Okie doke. And quickly on this day in history, 1914, Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophia were assassinated in Sarajevo, and that ignited World War I. He was the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. 1914. Same day, exactly 5 years later, 1919, the Treaty of Versailles was signed in France, ending World War I. 5 years later to the day. It also established the League of Nations, for the record. Shannon Burke is Shannon with us down in Florida. Shannon, Kurt, Pete, and Flounder. Happy Friday, my friend.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Nice to have you aboard. I assume I hope you were watching that debate last night. Can you believe any of this
did
stuff?
I miss the debates? What's
that last night?
Hard to believe it. Man.
Yeah, 7 minutes into it, I'm like, wow, it was over 7 minutes into it. And then I immediately go back to all of the people in the AP, in the articles that said, and Joe Scarborough, he's behind closed doors. He may look a little iffy in front of people, but behind closed doors, sharp as a tack.
Well, in fact,
prepare yourself.
we're going to play the 2 sound bites of Joe Scarborough. One where he says he's never been brighter, he's as sharp as he ever was, and then the second one say he's got to go. I mean, he's going to talk about a swippy old California turnaround in one night. But in fact, speaking of which, I wrote down, I have a chronological list of my comments, and about 2 lines in, I wrote down mumbles, really talking fast, and then I wrote, holy blank. I have it underlined here. Holy blank when he froze and didn't know what. Oh, my God.
If someone gave the signal to the mainstream media at some point, which, the gloves, you guys can, go ahead and comment like a normal person. We know how you feel. It's obvious to everyone in the world now. And practically everybody, CNN, boy, what an about face over there.
Joy Reid. You'll hear from her, too. We got all this stuff. And in fact, I will say this, and I was actually pretty surprised. I thought that Jake Tapper and Donna Hormouth were both fairly straightforward. They asked the same question. It didn't appear that they were trying to help him along. They didn't try to help him with an answer or anything like that. I did notice one thing, though. At the first time that President Joe White Trash made his first stumble or mumble or his first big gaffe, and when they came back to the interviewers at the interview desk, I saw the look on Dana Bash's face, and it looked like she had lost her best friend. It looked like she thought to herself, oh, my God, he just blew it. Those two people realized after about the first 7 or 8 minutes, they said, oh, my God, this is a freaking disaster. Right. And they looked sad. I mean, honestly, her face looked like she lost her best friend. And you're thinking, oh, my God, well, look at this man is destroying himself right in front of her eyes.
I was, too, just as you guys probably were, shocked that I didn't see more bias adjacent behavior from Tapper or Dana Bash, because they both
played
of them
it straight. I think they were, and I think what happened was they realized, oh my God, we're witnessing now in front of God. We can't hide it anymore. He's right there doing it in front of God and everybody. So they couldn't possibly have jumped on his bandwagon. They would have been outed too clearly. So, but they were stuck trying to be, neutral, and I'm sure they felt sorry for him, and they were afraid to make it known. But
what do you think happened? We did not get a State of the Union Biden. We all thought we would get the State of the Union Biden, the seldom seen, fired up, well-spoken, good diction, not reading perfectly off the teleprompter, no slip-ups. We didn't get that. Was it the wrong dose?
Well, no. My thought all along was that they were trying to change his sleep pattern. I'm telling you, there's no way that 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 5 weeks or a year or 6 months ago that he would have been able to have a debate at 10:30 at night in front of a live international audience. He was just physically not capable. There's no way that he stayed up late at night and was, meeting with his staff overnight and meetings at 2 in the morning stuff. He's incapable. So I give the reason. And by the way, think of this: 16 people spent 7.5 days to coach him, and that's what they got.
They ruined his voice, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, they say he had a cold, and that's probably true, and I'm sure that didn't help. But still, that's not an excuse.
What are the odds that they tanked him on purpose? I know it sounds very conspiratorial, but they sent him out. They've obviously known how to get him in fighting condition from the State of the Union address and that other fiery Hitler speech with the red lights behind him. But, did they do this on purpose?
I think he's gone too fast.
Time for a new candidate?
Well,
it's too late. The problem is what candidate do they have?
Well, you think it's too late?
Well, the thing is, look at Governor Newsom. Gavin Newsom, we would be going from the worst governor replacing the worst president. You can't believe that he looks presidential.
He's
the only one who looks presidential.
Hair, teeth, he's got it all.
But Wisconsin does not allow withdrawal from the ballot for any reason besides death. In Nevada, no changes can be made to the ballot after 5 p.m. today.
Wow. Yeah, this is the deadline today. I think in Wisconsin, the only other exception is if they get a judge to rule you mentally incompetent. Well, one of those. But again, that would be a court
here in
case.
Georgia. It's 60 days before the election here in Georgia, so that's rapidly approaching. So is Texas, which is 74 days ahead of it.
Yeah.
Wow. So out of the front runners, Whitmer, Hillary, Kamala, and Newsom, the greatest in that poll alone, other got 40%. There's leading the pack.
What a list! Seriously, what are they going? And by the way, who would want to be the head of the new ticket? I think they're stuck with him. I think they're. I don't know. I honestly, I'm totally flabbergasted. I'm clearly not any kind of a political expert in any way. I just have experience of covering politics for 50 years as a newsman. I don't get any of this.
If you were a shareholder in a giant corporation, and that last night was your CEO's annual shareholders meeting, and you got that, you would be demanding.
Yeah. Any other activity in the military, in a civic organization, in a country club, seriously, the head chef at a restaurant, anybody who acted like that would be gone. Anything, pick a category. The head ski instructor from Mount Snow, Vermont, would be gone. Anything in the world.
He came back out fired up at his rally, not very well attended, and they just go out there and scream like a maniac. He did, and he looked more energetic, but he still had the gaffes and the fumbles and the words, and he couldn't reach the words. They couldn't get from his brain to his mouth, but he was more fired up. I don't think that's going to work.
Well, you can't fake it. I mean, they looked at him at the rally today, and he's screaming and yelling like he normally does, and they're all pretending that they love all this. Is nonsense. I mean,
it's obvious Nurse Ratched is the president. She's running everything now. She's speaking for him.
They're afraid of her.
She wants to hold on to that White House, man. She's going to hold on and hold on.
Yeah,
we're not giving up.
I blame her for all this. I mentioned before we started with you that from day one she should have told him it's over. You won. Congratulations. You're going to be president. Now you're retired. Take 4 years, get your stuff in order, and we're out.
She may have said that, but then she got 3.8 years of, hey, hold on. This power thing is pretty cool.
I just can't believe it. And I also can't believe the head of the Democrat Party didn't do the same thing and said, Joe, you won, but you're 82. You're 80 years old. You're not going to be the guy for 8 years. So let's get our stuff in order and let's all be leaders here and work together and make sure we take care of this country in the future. And nobody was willing to do it. Even Putitat couldn't convince him to stop.
No.
She let him off the stage. He walked sideways down those steps.
It was a
sideways.
Sad video.
Yeah. In fact, that's one of the actual headline story is Jill Biden helps Joe off the stage after disastrous debate showing this says it all.
And then she announces, Joe, you did a great job. You answered all the questions like it was a second grade class.
Yeah, she said,
you put a gold star.
Yeah, here, have some juice.
You answer. It's your juice pack. Don't forget the straw.
Here's your juice box. Good job, Joe.
Oh, Lord.
How do you think he does in the September debate?
Well, I don't know if there's going to be one.
There ain't going to be.
Honestly, and by the way, I wonder whether Donald Trump would just say, "Okay, look, I don't want to. Don't want to embarrass the guy again." That
would be.
Why would I put the country through that again? And by the way, if there is a second debate, I don't know whether I'd be as excited about watching the second one as I was this one last night.
I think what I mean. I think Trump should come out and say, "Listen, I'm not going to participate in this anymore.
You saw what he did.
It's clearly elder abuse, and I'm not going to participate in it anymore."
She enabled him. She enabled him to embarrass himself in our country. And by the way, he didn't make the point specifically last night, which I think he could have when he did his first freeze, is to say, ladies and gentlemen, this is the guy that you want to go face to face to talk about trying to avoid World War III with Russia and China and North Korea. That's the guy you want? This is the man over there stumbling and bumbling right now, my friends, and you want in charge of World War III and taking care of the peace in America?
I thought
that's the guy.
He was very disciplined last night. He could have gone off the right wire. He was very disciplined, and he was tame. He wasn't as mean as people think he was going to be, even saying meansy words. But, Xi Jinping and Putin and Kim Jong-un and all these despots are just laughing in their
the great part, we're going to play the golf argument later on today in the show. But the best part for Trump, and this was brilliant, and it was off the cuff too, when President White Trash started mumbling and bumbling, and they said President Trump, and he said, I don't know what he just said, and I don't think he knows what he said either. And it was perfect.
And it was calm.
Oh, God, it was
line of the night.
Yeah, it really was.
It was just perfect.
We're in
Can you imagine if there was an audience
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad there wasn't, because you know what? Every time Biden started to stumble, they would have said, yeah, Joe, you're showing him. Or say, you know what I mean? They would have covered up the fact that he would have been fired up again and probably brought it back. I'm glad there wasn't an audience. That was raw, man. That was brutal.
I heard the Young Turks, the hardcore liberal people on their show, Shank Uger and the others in there, and they said, the split screen was a bad idea. The split screen
was a great idea.
Yes, it was great, because when Biden was mumbling, Trump just gave him a weird, scant look. Yeah. And when Trump was talking, Biden's mouth just hung there open as he stood like a deer in the headlights.
At one point, he was drooling.
Yes, I saw that too.
Yeah. It's like, are you kidding me?
And did you see his bug out eyes?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. I mean, honestly.
This doesn't go away. It's going to live forever. I don't think it goes away.
I don't know how they're going to. I mean, this is again. I've been a news guy for over 50 years. I've never. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't imagine the future. I don't know what they're going to do. What about the convention? Are they going to stick with him? I mean, there's major issues in the world. Who's going to be president? And we don't know where we are right now. And it's 4 months away.
Right. What do you think this stuff's RFK?
The playbook this morning is to have Jon Stewart and people like him say both were equally bad.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so,
there's no way.
Well, they're just saying, Trump's a liar. I couldn't debate a liar. The major lies. Trump had 59 lies. They counted his lies.
Did anyone count Biden's lies? Because I'm pretty sure that the Border Patrol Union does not endorse him.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was so funny.
They tweeted that in real time.
Later. It wasn't 80 seconds. It was, we'll never support you.
Not only do we not endorse you, we have no plans to endorse you in the future.
Oh, my God. Oh.
And did you even see Barack Obama tweeted about last night? He said, bad debate nights happen. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
But this election is still a choice between someone who has fought for the ordinary folks his entire life or someone who only cares about himself.
Yeah. See, that's all they've got. They still hate Donald Trump. Forget what he did. You hate Donald Trump enough. Forget what you saw last night.
How can you say that? That is the new mantra, is that he only cares about himself. Meanwhile, he never took a salary. He lost $2.2 billion in net worth while he was president. Now he's charged with an ton of bogus charges.
Which is why they did it. The only reason they did it so that he wouldn't run, because they knew what they had. They saw Biden last night. If they didn't have Donald Trump to run against him, then the man's in. So I mean, that's why they pulled this off. They knew how bad he was getting.
And, I think so many people, because the convicted felon thing did not really repeat itself over and over and over and over and over last night, because I think the majority of Americans realize that's a sham.
Well, plus his son is a convicted felon, like Trump mentioned, so he couldn't keep doing that for very long. It gave him a backfire like everything else did. The whole thing with the Democrats' plan, the entire plan is backfired. From the first day, lawfare to get him convicted. Oh, boy, no one's going to vote for a convicted felon. He just started raising more money and more votes and everything. I mean, everything they've done is backfired.
Every time they talk about gun control, Barack Obama was the greatest gun salesman America's ever known. Every time he talked about it, the gun sales went through the roof. They never understand that.
Get some more. In fact, the last time Hillary said it, I bought another AK-47 like 8 years ago, whatever it was, when she said that. I went and bought one just because she was trying to get him banned or whatever. Unbelievable.
Well, it'll be interesting from here on in. If they can't put a new candidate in, Wyoming's a pretty pivotal state. Nevada's a pivotal state. Texas certainly a pivotal state, and I think they're going to have to stick with the horse they rode in on. I think.
Well, I think they're stuck with him, and I think they probably realize that. I don't know who'd want to run against Trump.
No.
Do you think Gavin Newsom really wants to be the guy to take on Donald Trump after his career as in California?
He's got such a great record.
Yeah, right. Arrested a guy out in the ocean without a mask on. My God.
America.
I love it. Anyway, so how are you doing? Free and clear? Are you enjoying kind of a little free time here and all that stuff?
No, I'm not. I've been hard at work. Doing 5 shows a week at theshannonburgshow.com.
Excellent.
In the meantime here, I'm trying to do some other things I can't really talk about right now.
Okay, a little undercover stuff. That's fine. All right,
catch up with me on X. Follow me at The Burke Show. And, of course, theshannonburgshow.com is a daily thing there as well.
Excellent. Outstanding.
It's hot down here. How's it up there? Hot?
It's hot. And actually, today I think it's only like upper 80s. It's been 96, 98. My car going home 2 days ago was 101. At night, going home after work was 101 degrees.
How much of that heat came off your engine, though? You have that.
Well, no, it got a lot hotter when I was going. I know.
Well, I tried to take a motorcycle ride to the pet store yesterday just to get out of the house, and I looked at the weather app, and it said no rain until 7 p.m. It was 5. I said, "Oh, great! Put some long pants on, lift the garage door."
I don't trust Florida. Yeah, Florida. No, trust me. If you're in Florida in the summertime, it's going to rain out. It's going to get stormy,
every day,
and the wind is blowing, and it's going to be. Oh man!
Every day.
Anyway, well, Chad, how are we doing, Flounder? Are we okay?
Yeah, we're good. We go as long as we want.
Okay. All right. Well, excellent. So, I didn't know where to start now. I'm kind of surprised. That's
we're
good.
talking about the Supreme Court decisions today that is going to help a lot of January 6 defendants. So there have been overcharged, about 170 of them, using the 2002 law
obstruction of an official
Enron
proceeding. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for them to be prosecuted under that specific one, which many were, they must show proof. The prosecution must show proof that there was an attempt to get or destroy documents. That was an Enron thing.
Yeah, that's right.
And none of that happened. 2 of those charges are in Trump's D.C. case, which may be overturned. The immunity thing, they didn't drop it. They still may drop it by today, right?
Well, today, or I think they have till Monday, and
Why not drop it now?
Well,
Why did they drop it earlier today?
Well, I don't know. A good question. I would have thought they would do it for Friday to carry it over the week. Take it out with the trash on Friday over the weekend, and then everybody kind of forgets it by Monday.
Well, if they do it on Monday, it lives.
Well. Excuse me. If they ruled that Donald Trump has immunity, that story will not be dropped for a long time. I mean, that's going to change everything. I think it'll be probably they're going to split the baby and probably rule that you have to prove what things he did are official acts before he can be charged with them. But I don't, who knows what they're going to do. But I think either Monday or I think they have to do it by the end of the session.
It's very telling that the convicted felon thing didn't come up over and over last night, because I think the majority of people and Democrats realize that they understand it was lawfare, that it was a BS thing. It's going to be overturned without question. Just a matter of when, and this is the purpose of it, so that you can call him a convicted felon.
Yeah, well, and Trump did mention that the January 6th committee, if I recall, destroyed all the documents, which again is probably against the law if it was an official sanctioned committee, and they destroyed all the evidence in the testimony to prove that you can't prove they complete cover up. Anyway,
any of you guys shocked that Adam Kinzinger has come out and endorsed Joe Biden?
What an idiot! God.
Another thing is, did you guys see when he messed with his ear? Like it was trending that he had an earpiece.
Yeah, Flounder mentioned it.
Kinzinger?
No,
Biden
last night. And again, I remember
Did you see that?
that he once was accused of having that earpiece in there. And again, I can't imagine. Well, it didn't work. If he had one, it wasn't working.
Because a lot of his responses and answers sound like he had just memorized them because he had gotten the questions.
Yeah, well, that's what they did for 7 days.
And even CNN said after the debate, they were talking with Chris Wallace, and the lady said Biden even had the questions.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an ongoing.
Erin Burnett.
Yeah, that's who it was, Erin.
Yeah, she said something like the fact, he had the questions like they were obvious questions, so obviously he had them. But it sounded like she said they gave them to him.
Yeah. So, and it was funny when he realized, as he was talking along and mumbling and stumbling, and then all of a sudden he said, "Oh, and by the way," and then he would mention something he forgot to mention from the debate section before. I mean, every time again, that's what they tried to drill into his head for 7 days, and it almost worked, except he kept forgetting a point he wanted to make, and then when he remembered, he'd go, "Oh, and by the way, they're talking about Medicare. We saved Medicare." What are you talking about? We saved Medicare.
We beat Medicare.
Yeah, we beat Medicare.
Yeah.
With a stick.
What the hell does that even mean?
I don't know how they come back for this. This never goes away, this performance. And I'm shocked that when I saw the numbers that this debate so far, they haven't calculated online and out of the house numbers and those things. But so far, it comes way short of the Trump-Biden 2020 debate.
I find that very hard to believe.
Me too. I really do. I think this is more important than that debate was.
Yeah.
10 times more important.
This may... Honestly, I think we saw two things. We saw the self-destruction of a president of the United States, and we also saw the proof that the media in America has been hiding the truth from the American people of what the hell is going on in our country, and they're doing it for political purposes. And that's how they won the last election, with the Department of Justice and the media all in cahoots trying to hide the truth, hide the Hunter laptop, the 51 guys with a letter, all the Russian disinformation, all the Hillary's emails, all that stuff. Everything they did to hide the truth. And people saw last night, millions of people who had no idea of any of this going on, who don't watch the news every night, they just go about their lives. And if they watched the debate last night, I'll bet you they were going, holy crap, what happened to our president? Who is this man?
Do you think Trump's odds are better today? I haven't seen polls yet, but do you think...
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine. I think what's going to happen is the people who are so disappointed are just going to stay home. They're not going to vote for Trump. Trump haters are never going to vote for Trump. They may vote for our third-party candidate if he can get on the ballot. RFK, what's his name? But if he can get on the ballot. But again, I think they'll stay home. I think the turnout's going to be really low. Unless, something could happen. October surprise, who knows? But at this stage, I'll bet you people who, were going to vote Democratic are going to say, maybe they'll go and vote for the ticket, down the line ticket, but they're not going to vote for... I don't know. I can't believe anybody would want to keep this going.
One thing's for sure, there's going to be a big shiny object that's going to appear soon to distract everybody. And I don't know what it's going to be. I'm guessing UFOs.
Another pandemic?
Maybe they'll indict Melania or something for something,
But look for it. I'm really, for the first time in a long time, excited about watching the Sunday political shows, which I normally abhor. But I got to see how they defend this.
Yeah. Well, we're going to play a bunch of sound bites coming up here, too, with the morning show, even in meeting and stuff. So anyway, Shannon, great to talk to you, my friend.
You,
and again, tell them where they get you on your podcast.
At The Shannon Burke Show, theshannonburkshow.com, and follow me on the Twitter at The Burke Show.
All right. Have a great weekend, my friend. Good to talk to you. Talk to you next week. See you, man. 341, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. We'll have Neil Bortz coming up after 5 o'clock here today on Let It Rip Friday and the debate. Holy smokes.
Atlanta radio legends collide on XTRA 106.3. The legend Neil Bortz is live every week with Atlanta legend The Kimmer. Because when you get these two guys together, who knows where we'll end up?
I am shocked. Well, not that shocked.
The Kimmer is live on your drive home every weekday afternoon from 3 to 6. And now Neil Bortz joins this show every week. And if you miss it, catch up anytime on the XTRA 106.3 app.
All right, I got it. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer, Pete's tweets, AI. We got Flounder's Funnies. I got a whole bunch of stuff here and some sound bites play for you from reaction to the debate and all that good stuff. And also some good stuff at Atlanta Safe House. The home of the Kimmer safes. That's right. Gun safes and pistol safes and all high security safes and jewelry safes. And by the way, I try to make this point. Atlanta Safe House, check them out on the web, atlantasafehouse.com. They have a showroom in Ackworth. And when I talk about their gun safes, which I've had two of, and they can bolt those from the inside so no one's going to carry them away to your concrete floor in the basement or garage, whatever. They can pretty much give you anything you're looking for in a safe. And I'll bet you really don't know what you're looking for. A gun safe doesn't necessarily mean it's all just a big tall thing where all rifles go in there. No, there are nooks and crannies and pouches and pockets and shelves. I mean, you can have anything you want. They can take care of you in any way you're looking for. And it doesn't have to be those 4, 5, 6 footers from the floor and stuff like that. They've got them all. Check out the pistol safes. Great idea. They're beautiful. Always on sale. Great brand name. It's not that plastic box you get at the pharmacy with a little teeny key in it either. That's not it. Jeff and Mark been doing this for decades and decades, and they hire off-duty police, firefighters, and military to say thank you for what you do as well. An American non-woke company protecting your rights and protecting your stuff. Keep it safe. AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
As an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, the Warrior Alliance connects warriors and their families to free services such as health and wellness, housing, employment, education, legal services, and so much more. We need your financial support to increase our impact and change thousands of lives for those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. It takes more than just thank you for your service. Make a donation to help warriors navigate to success after service. Go to thewarrioralliance.org/donate and make a difference today.
Hey, it's Tug from my friends, the Frost family of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about their family's company all the time here on Extra 106.3. First Liberty has helped hundreds of small businesses grow by saying yes when the big banks say no. On Wall Street, opportunities to earn big returns are everywhere. But for Main Street investors, those opportunities are hard to find. Until now. Our First Liberty notes are now open to qualified Main Street investors, paying interest rates of 8 to 13% while helping fuel the growth of small businesses right here in Georgia. With a few basic qualifications and with as little as $25,000, qualified Main Street investors just like you can earn an 8 to 13% interest rate. If this is you, they'd love to hear from you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and consider joining the First Liberty family today. That's FirstLibertyGA.com. FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify their SEC accredited investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
Intelligent technology that's more intuitive. Electrified power wrapped in sporty elegance. Meet the 2024 Mercedes-Benz C300 sedan. The leader of the pack with a sensual interior, the C300 sedan is a driver's delight and paradise for passengers. Experience the 2024 C300 sedan today. Lease one for just $539 per month for 36 months with $48.33 due at signing. Exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models. And visit today to see how to qualify. We'd love to welcome you to the RBM of Atlanta family. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta Sandy Springs through July 1st, 2024. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
They say good fences make good neighbors. That's true, but what about great fences? This is Jim Nearchus from the All Four Seasons Home Show, and I'm inviting you to tune in this Saturday morning at 9 when our guest will be Scott Seitz of First Fence. He'll be sharing tips and advice on choosing the right fence contractor and avoiding potential problems by taking shortcuts. Installing a fence in the wrong place invites legal trouble and gets expensive. First Fence has the answers right here on the All Four Seasons Home Show on Extra 106.3.
On a beautiful day, or worse, during a storm, climbing up a ladder to unclog gutters is the last thing anyone wants to do. If you're tired of cleaning out gutters, get Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system. Leaf Filter's trusted pros will clean out, realign, and seal your gutters. Then install Leaf Filter, a permanent solution to clogged gutters. Right now, get 20% off your entire purchase, and if you're a senior or a veteran, you'll get an extra 10% off. Clogs can cause costly water damage to roofs, siding, foundations, and so much more. Unlike any other DIY project or store-bought solution, Leaf Filter's patented technology is designed to keep out everything but water. And every installation comes with a free inspection and estimate. Keep your gutters clog-free for good and never have to clean them out again. Protect your home. Put the ladder away. Get your free inspection and up to 30% off at leaffilter.com/Glenn Beck. That's LEAF filter.com/Glenn Beck.
Love having a true conservative news and talk station in Atlanta? Then spread the word. Tell your family and friends to download the Extra 106.3 app and stream The Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, and Atlanta's biggest lineup of conservative voices.
I got 348, Let Her Rip Friday, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Is Lucas back here today?
Yes, he is.
I'll say, Lucas, how's it going? I can't see in the man cave there, so I wanted to say howdy. There we go. 2019, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne. told Donald Trump, stop using our music. The president was running for re-election in 2020, and Ozzy's 1980 hit Crazy Train was being used in a video mocking the Democratic rival. So Sharon suggested Mr. Trump could ask some of his prominent supporters like Kid Rock and Ted Nugent to supply him with music instead, which is actually a pretty clever idea. 349, Kimmer birthday list, Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX CEO, worth $220 billion or so. Elon Musk is 53 years old today. I think didn't he just announce he had another couple of kids? He's got the strangest thing, and they're all fine with it. I mean, there's kids and the wives and the people and non-wives. I guess. I think he might have married. Did he marry one or two? I don't even know. But he's got this whole it's almost like a commune thing with women and children and
a hive.
Yeah, it's like a community family or something. I don't know what the hell's going on.
He can afford them.
Hey, nobody's complaining. I mean, and I'll bet they're going to be smart and well-rounded and maybe not well-rounded. I'll bet they'll be geeky. But I'll bet they'll be smart and successful. So anyway, whatever. Who knows? I don't know anything, obviously. By the way, as we know, we have not heard yet from the Supreme Court decision about immunity for the president. We will talk in a second here about the Capitol 6 riot people, so-called riot. But this, of course, being the time of year, every year when the Supreme Court makes their announcements, and so on this day in history, we have some as well, including on this day in 2000. The Supreme Court ruled that states have no right to pass a law banning partial birth abortion. States were trying to ban partial birth abortions, and the Supreme Court said you don't have the right to do it. And again, this whole business of the feds having anything to do with that. And again, that was a state law. Now state laws are being getting into it because they have to because of the Roe versus Wade overturn. Okay, that was 2000. In 2010, 5-4 vote. Americans have the right to own a gun for self-defense anywhere they live. 5-4 decision in 2010. This wasn't the Trump court. This was in 2010, 5-4. You have the right to own a gun for self-defense. And again, the Second Amendment does not say you have the right to own a gun. It says the government does not have the right to take it away from you. The assumption is you have a gun. The assumption is you can have a gun. The government does not have the right, shall not abridge, shall not take away your gun.
Fringe.
That's a huge difference. 351, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Supreme Court today ruled in favor of one of the participants in the January 6th mostly peaceful Ashley Babbitt Day at the Capitol, challenging his conviction for a federal obstruction crime. We heard Shannon talking about it a minute ago. It reverses a case earlier, and they said the case was a guy, one of 300 people charged by the Justice Department with obstruction of an official proceeding, not at the Capitol. They argued the federal statute should not apply. It had only ever been used for evidence tampering cases, and not for people walking on the Capitol grounds, and being accosted by other people and so forth. It could have carried a penalty of 20 years in prison. And so and by the way, that includes a lot of crimes for Donald Trump as well, apparently is going to be related to this. So we'll see. I don't know yet what the effect is going to be, but it's going to have a big effect. And if Donald Trump wins, I guarantee he's going to be commuting or pardoning a whole, maybe not all those people. I mean, if you hit a cop, if you beat a cop with a stick or something, you ought to go to jail. But you shouldn't go to jail for 12 years, for pushing a cop on a gate or something. But still, you should be punished for it and severely and, adequately. But still, for walking in the Capitol and screaming and yelling and sitting on the windowsill, solitary confinement, ruining your life, taking all your money, lawyers and stuff, and going to jail. Please, you're killing me. That's just crap. 352. Current Pete and Flounder. Let's do two funny things. First, let's do the funny. Flounder's funnies for Nucky's Hoagies right here.
You know what you forget is kids can be mean. And they can be mean in very vulnerable moments. I get really car sick. The last time that I had car sick in front of my kids, not only were they not supportive, they were mocking me. They were doing impersonations of me puking as I was still actively puking. Just in the back of the car, I'm dead. See him crying, what a loser. I don't know how to handle that situation. I just go instinct. I go, look at me. You look at me in the eyes. You need to know that of everyone in this family, your mom is the only one that I picked. But I can feel that split the room a little bit. 'Cause some of you are offended, and the rest you're like, I need to write that down. There's
Mr. Dustin Nickerson right there.
He's one of our favorites. He's a very funny man. And speaking of comedy, Flounder, let's play Dr. Jill, the cuckold queen. Now, this is freaking hysterical. Let's remember the First Lady had to help President White Trash off the stage last night after his insulting and shameful performance. She took him by the hand, slowly led him down the stage's 3 steps after getting creamed by Donald Trump. And then afterwards, when they went to their little meetings and so forth, they went to the Waffle House and they went to the hotel or something. This is Dr. Jill, the cuckold queen, describing how her husband performed last night.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do?
Right, yeah. You answered all the questions.
Bye-bye, Joe.
You answered all the questions. And Donald Trump lied. They counted, they said Donald Trump lied 51 times or whatever it was.
I mean, she really said that.
Yeah.
You answered all the questions.
You answered all the questions. Why aren't you a good little boy?
Pat on the back.
Oh, my God. You tied your shoes by yourself?
You ate all your beans.
Oh, man.
And did you see the dress she was wearing at the North Carolina rally?
You see her with this?
No.
It just said vote all over it.
Oh,
VOTE.
God. Oh, that's what Ocasio Bangbangio tried to pull that time here with the same thing. What, Pete, what were you saying? I think we lost Pete here a second.
Well, with the celebrities and what they've been saying has been absolutely amazing. And all that mess.
We're getting a little breakup thing here. We'll get back to you when we get you. 3:55. Oh, in fact, there's a whole bunch of great. Oh, a couple of headlines, for example. Last night, The Onion was watching the debate, and after he did his first couple of freezes and his mumbles and was totally incoherent, The Onion came out with a front page headline, quote, "Report, nuclear war sounds freaking amazing right now." Although it wasn't the word freaking. Also, see on Babylon B, Trump indicted for murdering elderly man on CNN. And then they're mocking, say Fox News declares Biden the winner of tonight's debate. They're really picking on Fox News as well, which has been, I don't know what they've done lately, but it's not.
Well, there really wasn't one news outlet last night that defended Biden.
Yeah, well, they couldn't. Yeah. I mean, even the liberals. In fact, Babylon B also had one more. Biden invents new language on live TV.
Celebrities. God. Stephen King. The networks are packaging this as entertainment like a boxing match and selling democracy down the river.
Oh, my God.
Barbara Streisand. What is wrong with these two moderators? They ask him a question, but then they let him go on a rampage about something else. It's not fair.
Oh, my God. She wanted them to stop him and get him back on track to make a better answer.
That's
my God.
John Cusack, CNN letting this deranged liar lie with no consequences. Meanwhile, Dems thinks having the right data points matter. This is the end of my beautiful friends.
Oh, my Lord.
Let's see, Mark Hamill. One off night doesn't change the fact that the former guy is a convicted felon, serial liar, and adjudicated rapist who is unfit for any office, period. They're delusional. They're demented.
Yeah. Flounder, let's do this. Let's get cut number 7. Morning Joe Scarborough. We're going to hear 2 quick sound bites. One is where you're going to hear how wonderful that he said the president has always been, especially lately. And then you're going to hear his reaction from last night and what he thinks ought to happen. Morning Joe Scarborough right here.
But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. This is a battle for the future of American democracy.
And you lost.
All right, here's the other cut. Here's the one he did last night.
And now is a good time. In June, thank God. In June, and not October, in June, this is the last chance for Democrats to decide whether this man we've known and loved for a very long time is up to the task.
Even Joy Reid. Do we have Joy Reid? Yeah. Yes. How about number 8? Have number 8 there, Flounder, if you have a second? Let's do
He needed to settle Democrats. Democrats, they always talk about Democrats are bedwetters and Democrats are always panicking. Yes, Democrats are always panicking. They're always scared. Right? They're always thinking they're going to lose. Like, Democrats are very pessimistic. This is just
neurotic.
Who they are. They're neurotic. But Joe Biden's job was to reassure them tonight. His job was to calm his party, to make them feel that, yes, I can do this. I have 4 more years in me. I have the ability and the stamina and the strength to do 4 more years. He did not do that. He did the opposite of that. He made them more panicked. The people who were texting me were even more panicked. They actually expected it to be better than it was. And now they're in I won't say a full-fledged panic, but it's getting there.
Well, they are in a full-fledged. In fact, I thought he was going to do a lot better, and he did too. I thought he was just going to do sound.
And then W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta's Safe House.
Back on the campaign trail, I'm Tom Graham, Fox News. Donald Trump and President Biden both holding rallies today following last night's CNN presidential debate. The former president speaking in Virginia, a state his campaign believes is in play this year. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson.
Thousands of Trump supporters began lining up in their cars. It went back for miles. In fact, we had to get dropped off about a mile from here just to walk in here to this tree farm in Chesapeake, Virginia, just outside the Norfolk area. We spoke to a lot of the supporters who are here to vote for President Trump and show their support. Here's what they said.
The amount of illegals are coming over here and they get their welcome aboard package, Social Security, and all these other benefits.
It was just a few months ago. Nobody was calling Virginia a swing state or a potential pickup opportunity for Donald Trump. But a different story here today, according to our new Fox News poll, showing the race in a dead heat. That's also a reason the First Lady came to the Commonwealth to campaign recently in Virginia Beach.
On the flip side, President Biden holding a rally in North Carolina today, telling a Raleigh crowd he doesn't debate as well as he used to, but the president added,
I give you my word as a Biden, I would not be running again if I didn't believe with all my heart and soul I can do this job.
Vice President Kamala Harris responding to criticism of the president's performance, admitting he had a slow start but a strong finish, she said. Other Democrats not as supportive.
Last night was seismic. A senior House Democratic leadership source tells me, quote, those closest to the president have not served him well. The source adds, quote, this is not sustainable. Now, removing the president is messy. It would likely take a cohort of senior Democrats, ranging from former Presidents Obama and Clinton to former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, to convince Mr. Biden to step aside. House Republicans want the audio tapes from the interview Special Counsel Robert Hur conducted with the president. He hinted that President Biden was not with it.
Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
If you've got a military, first responder, or government service background, GovX.com is for you. You stepped up to serve our country and communities, and GovX delivers unbeatable deals that you've earned. GovX.com is the only site built exclusively to honor your service. Members save on thousands of trusted brands, tickets, travel, and more. See if you qualify. Visit GovX.com and join for free today. Use code RADIO15 in the shopping cart to get an extra $15 off your first order. GovX, savings for those who serve.
All right, look out, 403, Donald Trump live at a rally in Virginia. Let's go
the most
live.
Embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And it's a choice, though, between a president who puts America first or a train wreck who puts America last. They put America last. Actually, the Democrats put America last. You take a look at that. Look at a guy like Senator Schumer. I've always known him. I've known him a long time. I come from New York. I knew Schumer. He's become a Palestinian. He's a Palestinian now. Congratulations. He was very loyal to Israel and to Jewish people. He's Jewish, but he's become a Palestinian because they have a couple of more votes or something. Nobody's quite figured it out. A vote for Joe Biden is a vote for failure, surrender, and disaster for our country. A vote for your all-time favorite president, President Donald J. Trump.
The best president ever. Greatest president you ever had. Be a president again.
It's a vote for stopping Joe Biden's inflation, stopping the border invasion, and very simply making America great again. It will make America great again. You see these beautiful women. I'm not allowed to use the term beautiful as a politician. In fact, it could be the end of my career. If Glenn ever ran against me, he'd say he called women beautiful, and that could be the end of my career. But they're beautiful. What am I going to do? I can't lie. But you see these beautiful women up here? They come from a place called North Carolina. We all love North Carolina.
He's got some hotties in the crowd, yeah. Okay. Southern chicks, man.
And this is their 127th rally. And it's hard to believe. I seldom see their husbands, but they're happily married. I said, are you all happily married? They love their husbands. You love your husbands?
It is some kind of girls' rally, but I don't know the group. Huh? There's a sign, but I can't.
Happily married women, but it's 127. But I'll tell you, Front Row Joes even have that. They're about 200 and something, right? They must have made a lot of money somewhere along the line. Do my people treat you good? Huh? They better treat you good.
It's kind of cool in the crowd.
They become very famous.
We'll cut out. We may go back here if it's going on. But anyway, Donald Trump saying hi to the crowd, and beautiful sunny day in North Carolina. And oh man, I'm flabbergasted at that debate last night. And again, if you just joined us, we kind of reset the thing. I am furious at the media and furious at Dr. Jill, the cuckold queen, for leading to the deceit and the deliberate censoring of the truth and reality of what is going on in our country right now and who's leading us.
How about the point where he said that it's not illegal aliens that are raping these women, it's their sisters.
Flounder, I'm glad you Flounder, let's get that soundbite. Pete is referring to cut number 2 and by the way, the very fact that he even mentioned illegal immigrants involving and then getting into crime is just showed his brain isn't functioning with the right synapses or something. Here's how that subject came up and what it sounded like last night.
Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal: there's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters, it's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
What the hell?
They cut him off.
What the hell is he talking about?
I mean, how dare he say it was an illegal immigrant? That's what they talk about. Well, it was an illegal immigrant who did it.
Yeah, exactly. And then he tried to sidestep it by saying, well, brothers rape their sisters too? I mean, my God. I mean, honestly, it was one after another. And again, this is the man that you have chosen to stand toe-to-toe, face-to-face with the leaders of Russia and China and North Korea? This is the guy to be talking about what's going on in Ukraine and please. Can you? In fact, I can't find it now. It'll take me too long to find it. But somewhere in here, is some international reaction. I don't know if I got it right there. I'm going to go for a second. International reaction. China's mocking us. I can't find it the second, but I read it a little while ago. China is saying, boy, that was really entertainment. You're seeing these bozos running America these days. I mean, they literally were just mocking what they saw last night on TV. This is your American leadership. They're making fun of us all over the world.
Oh, Twitter just went nuts last night, both serious and amusing. It was just a blast to be on X last night.
Well, some of the other media things even. You remember that little slimeback Chris Cillizza from CNN, the former CNN guy? What a
blue boy.
Smarmy little, he's
a blueberry.
Slimy little pus stain. And he said this debate was a total, complete disaster for Biden. He looked old. His answers trailed off repeatedly. He was hard to understand. He would stop in mid-sentence and move on to something else. I never thought he would be this bad. Stunning, truly. And in fact, you heard him say there, I wrote down on I did a chronological notepad thing, keeping track. And every time he would say, here's the deal, that was one of his pause. He had 2 pause cues. One of them was, here's the deal, and trying to get his mind to go back on track. It was a reset, like you push the bowling button to get the pins to go back down. It would say, here's the deal. And the other one was when he was talking along about something involving, the border, and then he would say, oh, and by the way, and then he would start talking about something he left out about Medicare. It was just unbelievable. He said, oh, and by the way, and he would add a fact that he forgot to mention in the last discussion.
Well, we did yesterday how you tell a story. It was very much like how you tell a story.
Yeah, that's why I can't be president. Exactly. But that's not the way you're supposed to be a president. I can't be president and do what... Hell, Lucas had to do, for 20 minutes, had to get me to say Secretariat when I couldn't remember the stupid horse movie. And remember I was talking about Seabiscuit. Remember the movie Seabiscuit was the greatest one. And I said, it's a lot better than that other movie, Starts With S, again, my mind, stuff won't come out. And which is normal. And by the way, in fact, well, let's turn this a little more about me. I had my my new heart doctor today, and they did the EKG stuff and all kinds of stuff. And the woman who was the woman nurse was doing the preliminary stuff, and she put the cuffs on me for the blood pressure stuff like that, and she's looking at me and putting the things on. And she said, she looked at my chart, and she said, oh my God. She saw my age, and she said, oh, well, you look like about 45. I said, well, I don't know about that. Yeah, I think she would just be nice.
She's not your eye doctor, is she?
She needs to take a test. No, but she would just be. But again, even the doctor said, I'm feeling great. My heart's doing great, and what the hell? So,
good.
Anyway,
that's excellent. Will Kane said, this is a shame on everyone who allowed this, who enabled this, who placed their own ambitions and partisanship over the security of the country. This means the First Lady, the Chief of Staff, the media, and the Democratic Party.
Yeah. I blame the First Lady, and I blame the Democrats, and the media, especially the media. Shame, shame, shame. And again, I'd love to hear from you. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. If you are a person who really didn't pay much attention to politics, maybe you haven't seen what all the fuss is about him being old, or you really just haven't paid much attention to it. If you watched the debate last night, and you were just a middle-of-the-road, average American person all over the country just watching the thing, I'll bet you were horrified at how far he has fallen, especially if you watched even the State of the Union address. That wasn't very long ago. And this is just astounding. Was it last year or a year ago with the 4th of July tirade with the Marines and the fiery red hell gate entrance and stuff? Yeah. My God, man. When he was, the first time he debated Trump, he came out screaming and yelling like an angry old man. At least he showed he was alive. Last night was a disgrace. And again, 16 people for 7.5 days to drill him and prepare him. And that's what you got last night. He couldn't remember where he was half the time.
In fact, our secret Kimmer insider has gotten the list of the drugs they fed him last night to get him going.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well,
we had 2 bags of grass, 75 pellets of mescaline, 5 sheets of high-powered blotter acid, a salt shaker half full of cocaine, a whole galaxy of multicolored uppers, downers, screamers, laughers, also a quarter tequila, quarter rum, case of beer, pint of raw ether, and 2 dozen needles. Not that we needed all that for the trip, but once you get locked into a serious drug collection, the tendency is to push it as far as you can.
Here was going down to Bakersfield.
Box of Amos.
Oh, mercy. It's 4:13. By the way, at 5 o'clock or thereabouts, we will be joined by Neil Bortz. I think it's 5 o'clock, right? Still okay? He's traveling around, but I assume he can make it. We're looking forward to it because, man. And again, we'd love for you to join us. 404-741-1230. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and Neil Bortz at 5 too. And Holy Crap at Sports and Flounder's Funnies and all that good stuff too.
Time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
Well, after that so-called debate was over last night, who was the real loser? I mean, other than the country. But who this morning knows it's over for me? The answer? Kamala Harris. She is never going to be president of the United States. There is nobody she can sleep with now that's going to get her into the Oval Office. Why is that? Simple. Because Biden is not going to be the Democrat nominee for president. After last night's pathetic performance, the Democrats know they just can't let him be their nominee. For much of the debate, his mouth was hanging open. He was staring at God knows what. He couldn't finish a sentence with clearly understandable words. We beat Medicare? What in the world did that mean? You saw this so-called debate. At the end, it morphed into just what I wanted it to be. Two candidates on stage arguing, ignoring pretty much the questions. Child care from the moderators. I don't care if you don't like politics. The next couple of months are going to be fascinating because the Democrats have to replace Joe Biden or they know they cannot win this election. Who's it going to be? Gavin Newsom? This far-left failure of a governor in California? People with ability are running from that state like it was on fire, which sort of it is. Kristen Whitmer from Michigan, spare me. Maybe they can nominate Dr. Jill Biden. They did that with Hillary. Maybe the worst thing about this debacle last night was that it made Donald Trump actually look good. You know what else is going to be good? Listening to Tug, Rhino, Carlos, the Kimmer today talking about this. Have fun, everybody. I'm on the road. Neil Bortz, XTRA 106.3.
Hey, homeowners. Tug here with some exciting news. Southern Exteriors is your one-stop solution for top-notch exterior services, from roofing to siding, windows, gutters, and more. No more waiting. They can start on your project immediately. And with an in-house warranty division, Southern Exteriors stands by their work for years to come. From leaky roofs to faded siding, trust Southern Exteriors for a quick and lasting transformation. Don't wait. Transform your home today. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co now. Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years.
Have you thought about securing your hard-earned assets? Do you have concerns about the future? Protecting assets is crucial, and that's where Nelson Elder Care Law excels. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we provide absolute assurance and peace of mind through our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust, tailored services in estate planning, probate administration, Medicaid crisis solutions, guardianship, and conservatorship. Our goal is to exceed your expectations and empower informed decisions. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com for asset protection
Peter just mentioned a while ago, Cusac's 58 today. He's Joan Cusac's younger brother and the star of the unsung comedy classic, it says here, Better Off Dead. He was also in Midnight in the Garden of something Good and Evil. Was that the name of the something like that?
Yeah.
It was a great movie. I really did enjoy that movie. Famous book, too. And he was also in that stupid Music Store movie, and he was in the Detroit Grosse Pointe Killer movie. It was a
High Fidelity, Grosse Point Blank, and the book, Garden of Good and Evil, was better than the movie.
Yeah, yep, true. Anyway, John Cusack is 58. Cusack, I guess it probably is 58 today. And by the way, Joan Cusack is really a fun actress. I think she's a good looking actress. And on this day in history, we mentioned a bunch of Supreme Court decisions. Nothing on immunity for today, probably on Monday, hopefully. 1971, though, on this day, the Supreme Court did overturn Muhammad Ali's draft-dodging conviction for refusing to fight in Vietnam. And I'm trying to, was it a religious reason because he had become a Muslim or a
Muslim. Brotherhood of Nationhood or something.
Yeah. 419, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 4 o'clock hour, brought to you by the home of the Kimmer Safe, Atlanta Safe House. You need a safe. You know they have a showroom in Ackworth. Don't be like the Kimmer when I lost my medical records. Keep your stuff safe. On the web, check them out, atlantasafehouse.com. Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Apparently, Dr. Jill, the cuckold queen, apparently has had that squad of 16 helpers assassinated. Now, that's really a shame. Oh, my God. Apparently, earlier I told you she sent a topless selfie of herself to Gavin Newsom saying, ta-ta, Joe. See you around. Apparently, she just sent a selfie of her with her pursed lips saying, Hawk Tua to the governor of Illinois. That's disgusting. Trying to line up her next guy to make president, yes.
Did you hear what John Daly said about it?
No.
He said, Joey saying that he's not taking any drugs tonight is like me saying I'm not drinking any alcohol this week.
Or smoking a cigarette. Even the media figures are absolutely shocked about what happened last night. A couple of others, Axios reporter, the Biden team hates stories about Biden's age. They're about to get a lot more of them. An AP guy said, in the first half hour of the debate, a raspy Biden delivers rambling answers while Trump counters with energy and falsehoods. So they're still, the only thing they have now is to say Trump was lying. He was lying all night. You can't debate a liar. The man just lies. So that's their only reaction, is that Trump's a liar and we all hate Trump, so vote for me anyway. New York Times, Biden's age is a political problem, got me yelled at 2 weeks ago, said a New York Times reporter. And now it's the thing. A Vox correspondent, I've watched a lot of Biden talks. I've never heard him sound this frail. MSNBC's Mahid Hassan, the most incoherent and ignorant man to ever run for president, is getting the better of the sitting president who has been in politics for decades. This is bad. It's even blasting Donald Trump. Biden's even worse than the worst things they say about Trump.
But the worship of a lifelong politician, which is the most worthless thing you can be in our society, the hero worship of somebody like him who's never done anything with his life.
Right. He's lasted this long, so by God, let's keep him going. Salute him and honor him for his service as opposed to his success.
He's good at raising money and running for office. Wow, that's great stuff.
And getting elected. Brian Stelter, that slime bag former CNN guy. I'm listening on the radio. The audible difference between Biden and Trump is really striking. Yeah, no kidding. To the phone, SWAT 2, and you're on the radio. Welcome, my friend. Happy Friday. What do you think?
Hey, Tim, 2 things. First, I want to say hi to all YouTube gang and the Rumble gang.
Excellent.
And second, I have a question for you, hypothetical. Did you see the video how Joe Biden was getting down off the stage, helped by help?
Yeah, his wife, Dr. Jill, the cuckold queen, had to lead him down the stage a step at a time so he didn't fall over. Yeah, God.
So my question is, if there was some kind of threatening situation, what does Secret Service do? Do they swoop him like a young woman and run down the stairs? Or
that's a great question.
How do you get him to safety?
I mean, the whole thing's a nightmare. I mean, the whole issue is a nightmare. Even we shouldn't even have to be talking about this. I mean, seriously, think about it. In fact, Swatoon, Flounder just found another thing he's just sending me about Joe stands awkwardly, looks completely lost behind his wife at the rally in North Carolina after his disastrous debate performance. Who's the real president here? Looking at the poll, of course, he got killed. And again, they're showing video of Dr. Jill is leading the crowd, and she's gesticulating, and she's having a great time, and he's standing there like a lump behind her, not moving.
You know who Stanley Lee was, right?
I'm sorry, what now?
Creator. You know who Stanley Lee was?
Stanley?
Stan Lee.
Yeah.
He created comic books and stuff.
Stan Lee, yeah, absolutely.
They did same stuff in his age. I don't know if you've seen documentary about it, but they pretty much abuse him and they use him to get more money.
Really?
In his age while he was senile.
Wow, that's terrible. Yeah, again, it's elder abuse. I'm telling you, his wife, the cuckold queen, is guilty of elder abuse. She never should have let him do this. She should have dragged him off the stage when he won the election. When he won the election on election night, she should have said, "You won, now it's over. Work on 4 years, and then you're retired, and we'll work for the party and get the country back straight, And instead, they thought, boy, we got it now for 8 more years.
But my question is, maybe she's protecting us from Kamala Harris as a president.
Well, they don't like each other. I know that, especially after Carmela's side piece, the shiftless and lazy vice president, called her husband a racist. About school busing. Remember that? Anyway, Swatoon, thanks, man.
You guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you later.
I'll look forward to it. Thanks, Swatoon. Hi to the family. 424, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230.
This has happened before. Woodrow Wilson had the stroke, and his wife was the president for the last year or so. He was the president.
In fact, that was even worse because he was really out of it. I mean, she was signing his name. She was doing his autograph on documents, and she was telling the staff, "Oh no, he's fine. No, everything's fine." And finally, they said, "If you don't let us in to see him, we're going to have a congressional hearing and demand his presence." So she finally said, "Oh crap, all right." And they realized the man's gone. It's over. He's not. She wanted him to run again. She was putting him up for re-election when he had a stroke. And they said, no.
David's on the line. He wants to talk about the debate.
David, you're on the radio. Thanks for calling, sir. What do you think?
Hey, it was just interesting last night. And, the funny takeaway for me is that my wife isn't really into politics that much because she says I watch enough of it for the both of us.
Yeah.
But she was on the couch and she was watching it with me, enjoying it. And she gets up. She said, "I'm going to bed." And I was like, "Why?" She said, "This thing is over. You can tell." About 15 minutes into it, she just gets up
and again, she's not a big political person like you. See, again, it was so obvious. And again, I'll bet you your wife is like millions of other Americans who saw 10 or 15 or 20 minutes of that debate and said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. This is our president. What happened to him?" Yeah. I mean, it was depressing. I mean, he looked like a feeble old goof.
It was bad.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say is, Pete, I got to get it for you, but I specifically, when I go pick up my daughter every day, I time it to where I can listen to the 5 o'clock hour and everything. But every time Holy Crap at Sports comes on and she hears the little anthem, I've gotten her to start saying, "It's sports, it's sports."
How old is she?
She's 20 months.
Oh my God, she's not even 2 years old.
Oh no, I'm already teaching her the right way. I remember growing up and listening to Rush Limbaugh with my dad, so I figure start them at a young age and make sure they know the right thing.
Outstanding. You're a great American. Thanks, and have a great weekend, my friend. And hi to your little one. We'll be shooting it to you at 5 o'clock. What's her name? Oh.
I'm sorry. I
crap.
disconnected.
If he calls back, get her name, and we'll shout out to her specific at 5 o'clock.
Okay, you say he's not talking well, Joe, today, but I understand this. The U.S. Ministry of Truth has tweeted, now that President Biden is back behind closed doors, aides are reporting he has begun reciting the Canterbury Tales from memory and is now elaborating on string theory in 6 languages.
And he's doing the Canterbury Tales in Old English.
And middle as well.
And by the way, in fact, I took a college class, by mistake signed up for, I took 6 courses a semester. They do all the stuff in 2 years. And I took some English class, and it was Chaucer. And I thought, well, I don't know anything about, I'll learn something about Chaucer. Oh, it was horrible. The professor was such a freak that he read it all in Old English. Oh my God, you can't hear these friends from the fingers. I mean, oh my God, it was a nightmare. It's the worst class.
Jeez. And next semester, we'll do Beowulf and Odin.
Yeah, oh boy. Anyway, 428, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. The Dems are panicked. Strategists close to the Democratic presidential candidates who might be in the ballgame are saying their candidates are pleading with somebody to step forward. They have the advisors saying we're getting like a dozen key donors are saying this is a disaster. The party better do something. These are the money people. A major Democratic donor and Biden supporter says it's time for the president to end the campaign. They called it the worst performance in history. Biden was so bad no one will pay attention to Trump's lies. Even though that's all they have is that Trump's a liar, even with that, they still can't counter that.
How would they do that? What is the process if Biden does bow out? Because he's already the nominee. Well, he can Democrats to make that happen.
Well, the problem is whether he can get onto the state ballots. Like Pete mentioned earlier, there's some ballots like Wisconsin. Well, in Nevada today, it's the deadline to change your party's nominee.
Yeah, 5 p.m. in Nevada. Wisconsin doesn't allow leaving the ballot for any reason besides death. In Nevada, once this happens, the nominee has to die or is adjudicated insane or mentally incompetent.
And that means by a court, by a judge. You can't just say you are. Adjudicated means you have to go to court over it. It's a little late for that now.
If they pull Biden here in Georgia less than 60 days before the election, his name will stay on the ballot, but they will not count his votes. Well, of course, in Fulton County they will, but anyway. Yeah. And in Texas, the two parties' nominees have until 74th day before the election to leave. And South Carolina does not allow candidates to withdraw for political reasons.
For political reasons. Now, what about write-ins? Could people do a write-in? Is the Democratic Party saying, well, we don't care, we'll just write them in? I don't know if they can. I don't know about that. But again, what a nightmare for these people.
They're stuck with them.
Yeah, I guess they're so. And by the way,
their own fault.
Two weird things. First of all, we got a break coming up here.
No.
Okay, just for a minute. First, two things. Can you imagine what Carmela's side piece, the shiftless and lazy vice president, is going through right now, trying to defend him, which she did, and she complained. All you media people are saying, well, he still has all the facts and all the issues for the betterment of the country. So she has now caught herself trying to defend what happened last night, but also she's got to be thinking, please keep him on the ticket because she's going to be the first woman black president in America. Because there's no way he's going to last 4 years if he wins. No way. For whatever reason, the 25th Amendment, mentally incompetent, fall down in the shower, something. I mean, there's no way that this man, you saw last night. Do you really think, and look how far he fell from the State of the Union address. How do you think he's going to last in 4 years? So Carmela's going to say, keep him, because she'll be the first female and black female vice president of the United States. And also, one last quick thing. Former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Bong Bottoms, one of the disgraced mayors of all time, the one who allowed the Wendy's to be burned alive and the guy shot and all this all the cops and everything else, tried to blame the police. I mean, he was slimy freaking mayor, finally quit. The big news this morning was Atlanta Mayor, former Mayor Keisha Bong Bottoms has agreed to serve as a senior advisor to President Joe Biden's re-election campaign. Boy, she must be thrilled after last night's performance. All of a sudden, she signs on to be a key advisor, and she has to watch that last night in Atlanta. Oh, my God. I wonder if she's submitting a resignation to that little disaster. Holy crap. That's our president. All right, 431, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Holy moly.
Think of the tender things that we were working on. Slow change may pull us apart. When the light gets into your heart, baby, don't you forget about me.
The Kimmer Show is only live on XTRA 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
Every single example is something that happens to show the badness of Biden getting away with it. If you put a Republican in there, no matter who it is, they're going to cream him. That's what I mean by fixed election. There's no chance if the media and the Department of Justice and social media are all against you.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers. Howard Brothers has everything for your yard, but they love cooking on Big Green Egg and Traeger grills too. You can get all of your egg accessories and Traeger needs at Howard Brothers stores in Duluth, Lula, and Oakwood. In fact, they've got their Traeger grills at their Athens Power Equipment location too. What are you cooking tonight? Is it going to be grilled chicken, maybe some baby back ribs, pulled pork, perhaps some brisket? Get to Howard Brothers and get all you need for superior flavor and perfect meals every single time. It's time to get a Big Green Egg or a Traeger wood pellet grill. Don't go to the big box stores. Go to see the grill experts at Howard Brothers.
Hey, it's Tuck here with an important message. As the weather heats up, Southern Exteriors is gearing up with unmatched quality and precision. For over 25 years, they've been delivering top-notch craftsmanship that you can rely on. And let me tell you, they're hotter than the campaign trail in July. Got a home exterior project that's got you feeling the heat? Don't sweat it. From roofing to siding, gutters to windows and doors, call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. That's southernexteriors.co. Get a free consultation. Southern Exteriors, your home's best ally with any project.
Mike Rowe here with a radical idea. If you want to see more companies make more things in this country, buy more things from more companies who make things in this country. I refer in this case to the incredible t-shirts, sweatshirts, blue jeans, and more made by my friends at American Giant. Everything American Giant makes is made in the United States. And right now, you can take 20% off your first order at american-giant.com/Mike. That's american-giant.com/Mike.
AgPro is celebrating the grand opening of their new location at 800 Progressive Way on Friday, June 28th and Saturday, June 29th. If you've been thinking about a John Deere riding mower, a compact tractor, utility tractor, a skid steer, or excavator, stop into AgPro for the best prices of the year. We have all of your residential riding and zero-turn mowers, as well as a full line of commercial mowers, and AgPro has the largest selection of steel equipment around. So stop in for lunch on Friday, June 28th or Saturday, June 29th during the grand opening of AgPro in Marietta. Get more info online at agproco.com.
It's that time of year again when the owner of Central Heating and Air Conditioning, Chuck, brings back the 4th annual Christmas in July, benefiting Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Hey, it's Tug for Central Heating and Air Conditioning. If you want to help give back to the community, all you have to do is sign up for a maintenance agreement with Central Heating and Air Conditioning, and $10 from every new maintenance agreement will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. The more maintenance agreements you sign up for, the bigger and better we can make the 4th annual Christmas in July for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Central services all makes and models. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and they've serviced over 100,000 customers right here in Atlanta. So call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com to sign up for a maintenance agreement and help Chuck and Central Heating and Air give back to the community. Carrier products, carrier warranty, and carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
This is kind of grouchy music to me for some reason. It's like sharps and like anger. Somebody's not happy with it. Like ponderous. Yeah, it's heavy. It's a freaking Volga boat song or something. Dun, 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 dun. Stabbing you in your eye.
It's a good stabbing. It's a good stabbing song.
Good stabbing music section. And then plunging and pull out and plunging and pull out. This day, 2010, American singer-songwriter Jake Holmes filed a lawsuit against Jimmy Page in federal court for copyright infringement for the song Dazed and Confused. He claimed Page knowingly copied his work. Page, while on tour with the Yardbirds in 1967, saw Holmes perform the song in Greenwich Village, and within months had adapted the song for the Yardbirds and later for Led Zeppelin. The case was eventually settled with a writing credit on the song changed to Jimmy Page, inspired by Jake Holmes. So that's something that looks like they worked it out. So that's good. Still stupid song. Our birthday list includes Mary Stuart Masterson. She was one of those kind of the sweets, the 16 Candles and those Molly Ringwald and all those kind of people back in that day. Mary Stuart Masterson is 58. She went from sweet and innocent roles in Some Kind of Wonderful, Benny and June, Bed of Roses, and Fried Green Tomatoes, to becoming corrupt FBI Director Hearst on Blind Spot. I don't know what that is, but Mary Stuart Masterson's 58 years old today. Oh, should I tell you a history story? You want to do a little history story? Once in a while, on a history note, as something piques my interest, and so I kind of look up more about it than I normally would. So I'm going to remind you now. Do you remember in the year 2000, Fox TV had a show called Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire? If you don't remember the show, Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire? The deal was it aired as a single 2-hour broadcast in February 2000. 50 women competed to be the bride of an unknown millionaire whom they did not ever see during the show, except in silhouette. At the end of the show, the millionaire, Rick Rockwell, chose Darva Conger to be his wife and married her on the spot. In addition to being wed to Rockwell, she got a 3-carat diamond ring, $100,000 in prizes. They went on a honeymoon, but then it was announced that Darva Conger was seeking an annulment, saying that Rockwell had misrepresented himself. The annulment was finalized a couple of months later. Darva Conger was a focus of media attention not only for winning the contest, but also for getting the annulment so quickly after the marriage. She made numerous public comments about how she was offended by Rockwell forcibly kissing her on stage, and they never consummated their marriage. They stayed in separate rooms on their honeymoon. She also said that the entire episode went against her morals. In August of that year, 2000, she posed naked for Playboy. And then the next February, Conger and Rockwell both appeared on The Larry King Show and had an argument over comments each of one had made about the other. Darva Conger said she should never have appeared on the show. It was against her at all, her harsh comments about Rick Rockwell. And one more kind of an update, Darva Conger faced Olga Corbett on an episode of Celebrity Boxing, which aired 2 years later, and Darva Conger won by unanimous decision. I mean, this is how funny this. Yeah, from How to Marry a Millionaire, annulment, didn't sleep in the same thing. They paid naked for Playboy, and now Celebrity Boxing, she beat up Olga Corbett 2 years later, and then she got married a year after that to a physician's assistant.
That's the American dream.
And then she had a boy with him, and they were married for 11 years in Northern California, and she works as a nurse, anesthetist, and then they got divorced. Now, another quick update here, the Rick Rockwell story. The reason she wanted annulled, he was billed as a multimillionaire who'd made his money in real estate. He was actually a stand-up comedian. He's now no longer in show business. He worked as some kind of flight instructor. Due to the bad press about the show, Fox canceled an entire line of reality specials in 2000, including Plastic Surgery Nightmares, Busted on the Job, and The World's Biggest Bitches. those were series that Fox was going to do that they canceled because of the Darva Conger thing and Rick Rockwell. So anyway,
damn.
Oh, and one more quick. I know Flounder's trying to get my attention. Damn. I got one more quick update here, Flounder. I swear, I don't know what's going on. I swear to God. You may don't get that confused with The Runaway Bride. The runaway bride, remember that in Georgia, was Jennifer Wilbanks, who was going to get married, and then all of a sudden she disappeared. She said she was kidnapped. It was all fake. She was going crazy. It was a huge scandal here in Georgia. Well, she did get married later on to somebody else, and after 11 years, she got divorced too. So there you are. Anyway. All right.
We got Kevin on the line. He wanted to talk about the debate.
Kevin, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us. Can you believe what you saw last night? Hey.
Hey, Ludlow Porch. Is this you?
That's me. Just trying to get them squirrels out of the attic, my friend.
I thought I heard all the history and the birthday stuff. I love it. Reminds me of old radio.
There you go.
I love the debate. One thing that stuck out when I was looking at it again today was when Biden mentioned Article 5, and he looked like he was possessed. And that frightens me that he still has that ability if Ukraine joins NATO to push the button.
Well, I mean, this is the man who would be, negotiating to stay out of World War III with Russia, China, and North Korea. I mean, they're laughing. Korea already made comments and calling it a big comedy and saying, man, you guys really know how to entertain an audience. I mean, mocking us. It's an embarrassment.
Yeah, but I just think they're backed up, they're in a corner, and what they would try to do, what he's capable of, his wife is capable of, he just kept pushing that. He would go, Article 5, you want a nuclear war. You want a nuclear war. And I don't it's scary to think.
That'll never get
zombies.
His own people will never let him get that far. They're all turning on him already, and I can't imagine what they're going to do about it. But anyway, thanks for calling, man. I think that okay. It now is clear that the emperor has no clothes, and now everybody knows it. So clearly, the Democrat Party, and again, this morning, Nancy Botoxi was going to go to hell when she dies, a black-hearted snake, a former Speaker of the House. She already said, we're not changing the ticket. No, stop talking about it. We're not changing the ticket. Everything's going to be just like it is.
No, they can't.
What could they do? Who's going to...
The Babylon Bee has just outdid itself.
What are they saying now?
They had Jill Biden. She's handing him a banana sundae, banana split.
Banana split, yeah.
It says, "Who's a good boy, huh? Who's a good boy?"
And again, Flounder, play the Jill Biden again just for the fun of it. It's like an 8-second soundbite here.
Which one do you want?
Jill Biden again at the rally.
You did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
Yeah, you answered every question. What a good boy. You answered every question. She actually said that and was so proud of him for answering every question. That's how low the bar went by the enabler herself. What a good boy. Oh, and Babylon B. earlier said, CNN showed a live murder on television. An elderly man murdered last night on CNN. My God. And by the way, there was actually a poll of who won the debate. This is the first debate in history where clearly both candidates cannot claim victory. There's no way. In fact, I don't even think anyone from the Biden campaign has said anything about declaring a winner. There's only one winner and one loser, and that was us, showing what happened with our president of the United States last night.
Every single media outlet is talking about how poor Joe Biden did, along with Barack Obama. So that gives you your answer.
Yeah, even Obama tried to saying, well, I've had bad debates too. Bad debates are bad, but we've all been there. And then they say, well, Trump's a liar and Joe Biden loves his country. So, that's going to work for him?
Earlier when we had Shannon on, you guys were saying Trump shouldn't debate again. But shouldn't he? They should just let Joe continue to do this.
Well, but the problem is this was so bad, there's no way that they would let him do it again and do the same thing. So there would have to be something up their sleeve that they would be able to handle him differently or better or set the demands. I can't imagine that they would think that they're going to make him better in September. Keep going downhill, and in September suddenly they're going to find a way to make him sound coherent again. I can't imagine. There's got to be there's no way that they're going to let this happen. And Trump might take the high road by saying, "Look, that was really an embarrassment. I'm feeling sorry for the guy. Doesn't deserve to be president, and it's just it's appalling. And I don't, I think it's better for the country if we just take the vote and instead of embarrassing him again, the poor guy and his whole family and everything else. Although I don't feel sorry for him a bit. I'm angry at the man because he's still a freaking criminal. He's a liar and a dirty, stinking criminal. They have 120 banking, sneaky reports about money laundering. We know about the millions of dollars in foreign countries. Whatever happened to all that stuff, the impeachment things and everything else. I don't feel sorry for him at all. And by the way, when his wife and kid died in that car crash after he complained that a drunk driver killed her, which is a lie. She ran a stop sign or a stoplight and got hit by a truck. And after his wife and baby died, he left his other kids home and took off to the Senate, took off to become in Washington and let somebody else basically raise his kids. Well, he became a professional politician. And enabling Hunter Biden, he's not a great father loving his son. He's an enabler. He let him get away with it. He should have been the first one to say, "Now wait a minute." Anyway, as a father of a drug addict, recovered for 20 years, but tough love. When she went to jail, I said, "Good, keep her there." We'll clean her up.
Well, he said no troops died on my watch, and they have a meme showing him actually looking at his watch when the 13 dead Marines were brought back.
And again, I'm surprised Donald Trump didn't bring that part up. He did talk about the Afghanistan withdrawal, but I wish he had said, and you're the one who was, I'm surprised you're not checking your watch tonight, Mr. President, like you were when we had the dead bodies of the people you killed coming back from Afghanistan. I mean, and nobody died on his watch, which also is another lie. I mean, my God. Yeah, but we beat Medicare. Yeah, we beat Medicare. Shirley Medicare. Yeah, she was asking for it, so. A rowdy kind of chick. 447, give her Pete and Flounder. Let her rip
told her
Friday.
to shut up.
Yeah, we warned her. It's going to hit you.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Tug, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
If you intend to vote Democrat in the next election, if you intend to vote for Joe Biden, just who are you really voting for? Barack Obama? Again, a lot of people think that's the case. George Soros? That's somebody that hates America almost as much as Obama did. This is a very dangerous election, my friends.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2024 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. Or the 2024 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right size SUV for all the adventures ahead, with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. No matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
This is Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons. We've always been Atlanta's best at installing and servicing garage and entry doors, but you would be surprised at how many windows we've installed as well. So we're proud to announce a new division, All Four Seasons Windows. We now have the ability to make sure every opening in your house is safe, energy efficient, and looks darn good. So give us a call today to schedule your free sales consultation. Find out how you can decrease your energy bills and increase the beauty and value of your home with All Four Seasons garage, entry doors, and windows.
Marketing is everywhere. From the billboards on the highways to the notifications on your phone, we are constantly bombarded with people trying to sell us stuff. What makes good marketing? Are you doing enough in your life personally and professionally to market yourself? You have questions, and the Marketing Madmen have answers. Tune in every Saturday, now at 4 p.m., right here on Extra 106.3 to get practical marketing advice from expert guests who are shaping and reshaping the business world. They say marketing is a madman's game. Join the Marketing Madmen every Saturday at 4 p.m. to find out why.
History of the World Part 1. I mean, on and on and on. TV stuff. The man's 98 years old. Mel Brooks. Holy cow. And what a career. Blazing Saddles. Up yours. Oh, sorry. And on this day in history, 1778, I'm sure they have the good sense not to tell anybody I've spoken to you. The white woman talked to the black sheriff. The sheriff is near. Sorry. It was 1778. Mary Hayes Macaulay was the wife of an artilleryman fighting in the Battle of Monmouth in the Revolutionary War, 1778. She helped by toting buckets of water to the dehydrated soldiers fighting on this hot summer day. They called out to her, "Molly, Molly, a pitcher, a pitcher." She became known as Molly Pitcher, and when her husband collapsed from heat exhaustion himself, she took his place at the artillery gun to try to kill the enemy. Molly Pitcher, 1778. Boy, can you imagine? Wouldn't you just imagine what that must have been like, just living in that time, but also fighting for the brand new nation that you left your homeland to start anew. I mean, just wow, just had to be unbelievable. 453, 404, come repeat and Flounder. Flounder, let's do that Nancy Mace thing. This is pretty cool. Nancy Mace had a hearing standing up for women and racial discrimination, protecting women and men in the employment practices of some kind of committee in Congress. And she was check the title of this woman she was talking to. The title of this woman is Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights CEO Maya Wiley. And Nancy Mace asked her a question about defining what a woman is, and it kind of went like this. Flounder?
Can you define what a woman is?
A woman is a person who says she is. And let me just tell you one story about this, because when I was a child...
No, you're not going to tell me a story. We're not doing that right now. It's not story time.
Yeah, it is story time, because when I was a child, I was
not. I'm going to reclaim my time. Be quiet. I'm going to reclaim my time right now. Biological women are real women. A guy born as a man who wants to pretend to be a woman and put him and his big Jim and the twins in the locker room with underage girls, or his little Jim and twins, by the way, is disgusting. I have a daughter. She turned 14 last year. I took her to a store called Aerie for her birthday. We went shopping for an hour in downtown Charleston, South Carolina. She was taken to her dressing room by a biological male in a mini skirt and a lace bralette. It is disgusting. I have no idea if that man was over 18 or under 18. It is absolutely disgusting that we're redefining what women are and allowing men into women's private spaces. And by the way, Miss Wiley, I am a survivor of rape. I was raped at the age of 16. I am not going to put other women and girls into unsafe situations where biological men with their willy-nillys out, putting women and girls at risk. It's absurd. It's disgusting.
She says the left wants to erase biological reality. Nancy Mace on fire, showing America just how ridiculous the left has gotten. Again, this shouldn't even be in the mainstream of conversation. When she said, "Can you define what a woman is?" the girl says, "Yeah, a woman is a person who says she's a woman." No, that's never been true, and it's not true now. I mean, it's unbelievable. And by the way, let's see, 456, we told you a story earlier about a high school track coach in Oregon. His name is John Parks. He was a head track coach at Lake Oswego High School outside of Portland, and then backlash because of a tranny who was running in one of the events. And when this coach wrote a letter asking about changing policies concerning trannies competing under the gender they think they are or say they are. And he got fired because they say he violated district policy about forming a complaint against a transgender student, which would be offensive. And so he says, "Now, wait a minute." They fired him. So he says, "Hold on a second. I was just saying, can't we do a study about this? Can't we have some kind of discussion?" He said, "We had a race, and all of a sudden this guy is pretending to be a girl and wins by a mile. And in fact, the girl on his team who came in second set a school record. And she got beat because it was a boy beating her." And he says, "This can't be right. Nobody even knew about this before, and we had no chance to even talk about it." And he says, "But it's a slap in the face. I fought for you, for the school. I fought for girls' scholarships, and men too. And now you're tossing me aside because you're saying I wrote a letter to you that you say was inappropriate and was harassing a tranny?" He said, "How about my free speech for one thing?" So he's pushing back. But again, I mean, this is outrageous. And he says, by the way, I think you ought to create a division, create an open division. You want to be a tranny or girl, boy, whatever. If you want to compete any way you want, have a division and compete any way you want. He says, I'm not against, people being in sports. Have a ball, but don't fake it. You can't, don't lie, cheat, and fake. Have a thing. Have a tranny thing or an open thing or whatever you want to call it. And they're still firing him because they say it was inappropriate. Inappropriate for raising the issue. By the way, just a quick thing before we go to the top of the hour. Holy crap, it's sports coming up. Oh, we know more fun. We have Flounders Fun. You got enough funny here? We have time for a funny? I think we owe you one funny for Nucky's Hoagies.
1 second.
I think we have. We got a minute and a half. We got 2 minutes. Well,
using a public bathroom and being comfortable is not a real experience anyone has. There's no reason to take that fight to the Supreme Court. Like, the justices are in their 80s. They have enough of their own bathroom issues to deal with. But that's what we're fighting about. Like, transgender women don't want to use the men's room, and then a lot of other women don't want those transgender people in their bathroom because they're biologically men. So what it all comes down to is no one wants to use the bathroom with men. Like, as divisive as the issue is, we all agree that men and their bodies are disgusting. And it's true, men's bodies are way more disgusting than women's bodies. Just look at the sexy outfits people wear. Sexiest thing a woman can wear is lingerie, which is basically nothing at all.
Yeah.
Sexiest thing a man can wear is a 3-piece suit. Just layers and layers of material covering every inch of his horrible body. Then just to be safe, it's tied around his neck to make sure it doesn't fall off.
Yeah, we did play the other day, but it's still funny.
Days ago. I apologize about that.
I may have thrown in an extra one here, by the way. I've got a lost track of myself for 4:59. Oh, by the way, that commercial, in fact, Pete and I were talking about this the other day. Have you seen the commercial where the guy pulls up his shirt and he sticks an injection tube into his fat tummy for like 20 seconds and sticking it into his stomach? That's an actual thing. And I Googled it to find out what the hell it was all about because it didn't really make any sense of what it is. Well, I have a little information, which I'll share with you coming up. Also, holy crap, it's sports and more Flounders Funnies and talk about the debate. And we'd love to have you join us. And Neil Bortz coming up right after the 5 o'clock news with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. The Bortz Bus, wherever that is, at 106.3. And it's next with you. Look out.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches.
Trying to flip states post-debate. I'm John Saucier, Fox News, and here we are, the day after the CNN presidential debate. The candidates are on the road with former President Trump in Virginia, hoping to flip that state his way for 2024. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports from the Trump rally in Chesapeake.
This is a state that no Republican has taken in 2 decades. You have to go all the way back to George W. Bush in 2004. Now, earlier we spoke to some people, including some young people, who told us why they're voting for Donald Trump.
I would say my demographic or my age, like, we're all like pro-Trump, and everyone's starting to see after that last debate last night how unqualified Joe Biden is to run a nation.
I absolutely think Trump will win Virginia. He's winning Virginia.
Thanks to a new Fox News poll, this race is now a dead heat. It is all tied up, and that's one of the reasons President Trump has come here. This is why the First Lady was campaigning in Virginia Beach just a few days ago.
Now, Virginia, a key state in the election. You heard Lucas mention there that First Lady Jill Biden was recently in Virginia Beach. What about President Biden? He's also back out on the campaign trail. Fox's Ryan Schmelz has more.
Just one day after a rocky debate performance led many to question his ability to be commander-in-chief, President Biden telling a crowd in North Carolina he's determined to win in November.
I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth.
Several Democrats on Capitol Hill are maintaining their support for the president as the Democratic nominee. Texas Republican Chip Roy released a resolution to call on Vice President Kamala Harris to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove the president. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
President Biden on the way to New York now for an official event at the Stonewall Inn. America's listening to Fox News.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
If you've got a military, first responder, or government service background, GovX.com is for you. You stepped up to serve our country and communities, and GovX delivers unbeatable deals that you've earned. GovX.com is the only site built exclusively to honor your service. Members save on thousands of trusted brands, tickets, travel, and more. See if you qualify. Visit GovX.com and join for free today. Use code RADIO15 in the shopping cart to get an extra $15 off your first order. GovX. Savings for those who serve.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog target. Road guards out. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. How you doing? 503 with Pete Davis and Flounder and Neil Bortz from the Bortz Bus out and about in America. And Neil Bortz, I don't know where you were watching I know you were watching the debate last night. I heard your commentary earlier. What do you think? How are you doing? And welcome aboard, sir.
Well, it's nice to know you still save recordings of your orgasms.
Well, it's all I got. if I don't have nobody else's.
Oh God, I used to hate that. So I don't know. I just text a picture of where I am to somebody. Maybe they'll show it to you.
Well, okie dokie.
Yeah.
One of these
days. But
I
have a beautiful mountain view here.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
No buildings. No people.
Beautiful.
Just trees and mountains, and it's lovely. Hey, now, Kimmer, I guess we can expect, because of internet, that we may have some of those little hiccups today, so just keep the mic open. I'll be right back if that happens.
Okay,
yes,
no problem. We're not worried.
We watched the debate.
Well, we just had one. We just had one of those interruptions. Are you with us again? We got it. Let's see. We got it.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, here we go. We got it. Yes, sir.
Even Donna watched it. And listen, you say you don't feel sorry for him.
No, I don't. I'm angry at him. I think he should be in prison. I think it's a disgrace. He's a criminal and a crook and a liar and a traitor to his country and an empty shirt being led by anarchists trying to ruin our nation. And I don't. And his wife ought to be in prison with him. She's the enabler and responsible for all of this. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, maybe I don't know if I mentioned this to you yesterday. They can pull an Obama or pull a Clinton and have her run for president.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. They're all scared of her. They'll probably say, whatever you want, doctor. Doctor.
Sister.
We got you back. We lost you for a second. We're back again. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I keep hearing you. My younger sister and both of my parents died with Alzheimer's. My younger sister had the same thing that has, that frontal. No.
We're losing you. We're losing
dementia, and it's horrible. And so I do feel sorry for him. He is performing at any level.
Neil, we're definitely having some. You can hear me okay, but you're breaking up real bad.
Change channels here?
Well, no, you sound fine right now, but again, it kind of goes every 10 seconds.
There we go.
All right, here we go. Let's try this. Okay. You still with us? Yeah, well, okay. We're good. Sorry about that. We're good.
It's doing that.
Technical stuff, It's just modern technology. It's all
good. It is. I ought to be on the phone, but even that blacks out every once in a while.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're out and about. You're up in the mountains. I saw the picture of beautiful scenery. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Jealous, envious, absolutely.
But we're in for a couple of wonderful months ahead of us.
Oh, man.
Kimmer, I got a question for you. You remember what happened in Ohio?
The time that the thing happened with the place over there, or it's kind of a broad question, Neil. The time that happened in Ohio. God, well, the last time I was in Ohio, I remember the time. I'm not sure specifically. Could you narrow it a little bit?
If I'm not mistaken, I think Ohio demanded that the Democrats come up with their candidate even before the convention, or he wasn't going to be on the ballot.
Right. I do remember that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it was. So if they want him, whatever the candidate is, on the ballot in Ohio, they've got to get it all done even before the convention.
Yeah. Well, in fact, Pete, tell Neil, we were just looking up some of the state rules. Today at 5 o'clock in Nevada is the deadline to take your name off the ballot. And if you pass the deadline, they will not take your name off the ballot, and I don't think they can replace it. There may be a write-in possibility, but Pete's got
only if you die or you're insane or mentally incompetent. Wisconsin doesn't let you get out for any reason besides death.
To change the ballot.
Biden died last night. So
yeah, he was. Yeah, CNN had a live murder. An elderly man murdered on CNN last night.
I know. Did somebody run that headline? That would have been.
Yeah.
Yo, Babylon.
There was a couple. Yeah.
Onion. We've been doing it all day. There's been a million of them. Really.
Oh, I'm gonna have to pay attention to them. It really. The guy is just obviously not there. No. Columnist, I don't care what his name is, he said, finally we are over the phase of this campaign. There's no more room for delusion. We know what's going on. We know the guy is mentally incompetent. We know he can't handle it. So now the knowledge, it's a fact.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it? And
the two things
I was very happy to see that Donald Trump leads Gavin Newsom by 17 points. In the poll.
Apparently, Dr. Joe sent him a naked picture of herself as a selfie. You know, it's just to get on his good side.
Now you just brought up some sort of a thing I hope I never get to see in my life.
What's that, sir? Her naked?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, in fact, I'm mad at two things. I'm mad at her. I'm really, really, really angry at her, the enabler, who's responsible. As last time I'll say this, hopefully, maybe for a while, people get bored with it. When he won, the night he won the election, she should have grabbed him by the throat and said, "You won. You're going to be president forever in the history books, and now it's over. You're not going to run again. We're going to get the party together. We're going to get the country going. We're going to do everything we want to make sure, and then it's over, Joe. You're done. You're retired." Instead, they said, "Oh boy, we got 8 years ahead of us." These freaking people. She
likes it.
Yeah, she can't stop it.
She likes it too much.
Yeah, and the other thing that bothers me, Neil, the most is people who really didn't follow politics that much, or they know about things, but they're not glued to Fox every night. They're not glued to CNN. They just go about their life. And so those people, by the millions, I'll bet you, who watched that debate last night, in the first 12 minutes thought, "Oh my God, that's our president? That's him?" They have never seen that before. They never knew about that before. The media's been covering up for him. The mainstream media, this is the exact reason that he won in the first place. This is a lesson to the people of America, how the mainstream media can affect your perception of what the hell you're voting for in your own country. And this is a shame on the media. Even Joe Scarborough came out and said he's got to be replaced after saying it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Kimmer,
yeah.
Decaf.
I'm sorry, that's out of the question.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you okay?
I mean, shame on them. Seriously, shame on the media. They all want an apology.
They ought to do what they did to me on the air one time.
Yeah.
They brought a nurse in and they put a blood pressure cuff on me.
I have my blood pressure taken today. It's 120/90. My heart doctor.
Well, I mean, my blood pressure never went up. I'd be ranting and raving like you are, but it never went up. They couldn't figure out that.
But you're special.
I'll have double digits over double digits sometimes.
Well, I'm trying to get mine 300 over 200.
I mean, when your blood pressure is 90 over 60, people look at you very strangely.
Yeah, that's kind of low. 60's a little low, I think.
Well, 90's a little low.
90's a little low too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I'm a little low. Be objective, be honest, how long after Biden walked on that stage last night for you to honestly, bias aside, admit to yourself, this guy is in real trouble?
I knew it beforehand, but the first time he froze, and again, the thing I thought to myself was, he started out immediately looking bad, and then he started his mumbling business, real fast talk, mumbling and kind of incoherent. But the first time he froze, I thought to myself, oh my God, I wonder what he's thinking in his head right now. He must be saying, oh crap, we're gonna finish, oh crap, it's over. He must have known that it was over right then. Man, when I saw that, and I thought, the people of America who didn't know about this, what a comeuppance. Just shameful.
I think it was when they introduced him, he walked out on the stage, he looked out into the blackness and waved his hand as if there was an audience out there.
No, you know what that was? In my opinion, when he went out, in fact, I wrote the note down here, two things happened. I made the mistake of watching CNN about 2 minutes before the show started because I wanted to see what they were saying, and all the CNN panel was saying, I wasn't watching Fox, watching CNN, and they were saying, oh, this Trump is just, his entire administration was all lies and chaos. He's going to get creamed tonight with all the lies and discussion about which was pretty funny. And the thing I noticed when Trump walked out, he had a scowl on his face. There was no handshake, which I thought was interesting. When Biden walked out first, he walked out and then he pointed at the podium as if to say, you want me over here. He's the one who picked the podium, but he walked out and he pointed as though to say, I'm going over in this, as though he's saying, I'm over here, right? The red spot, right? Oh my God. I mean, from the very beginning, he had lost it. It's just shameful.
Okay, what do you think the Democrats ought to do? How should they do this?
They can't do anything. What are they going to do? Newsom's the worst governor in the state. They're going to be after the worst president in America. I mean, they can't put. I mean, Michelle. I don't think she's going to do it. I don't think she wants anything to do with it. Hillary's out of the Muradam P. Sticky Fart Cabbage is out of the question. Pritzker, the big fat load from Illinois, and I mean, who do they have?
What about Gretchen Whitmer?
Well, that's the name of the Michigan governor, keeps popping up. But again, she's a snake and a rat, and she's been involved in controversies in the business with her husband's boat and the COVID and, the stuff going on in Michigan's kind of iffy right now. Neil, I don't know. I mean, you know probably about these political things as a lawyer and things more than I do. Do you have any idea? What can they do? Seriously.
They can have an open convention.
Yeah, and who's going to come forward? Who is the leader of the Democrat Party? I mean, this is how they got stuck. Who is the leader of the Democrat Party?
Barack Obama, but he can't run again.
Right. So, I mean, who's the candidate? They're going to have to come up with somebody out of nowhere or somebody who's not very popular and nationwide. Christian Whitmer's not going to do it. And Newsom, anyway. I don't know. They're stuck. I think they're just going to write it off. I think they're going to. And plus, I wonder whether any Democrat even wants to be involved in this race this year, knowing you're going to get creamed by Trump, and there goes your career. I don't know.
How about Joe Manchin? Bring him back into the fold.
If they could convince him. I'll bet you they're an awful. I'd be scared of him. I'd be scared of Joe Manchin. He's enough of a moderate, and it sounds like, although he's I don't know. I think I'd be scared of him. I think he could get a lot of votes. I think he'd be a good leader for the Democrat Party because he's not a nutball.
Well, I think the Democrats have been begging for this for 2 years.
Right, yeah.
With, by just, it's going to be Joe Biden. Joe Biden, absolutely Joe Biden. We don't need to consider anybody else. They've been begging for this. They created this problem. They begged for this problem. And now we get to sit back and watch it. Now, the Republicans have been doing the same thing. They've been begging for this Donald Trump mess right now. And he's not all that attractive either.
Yeah. Well,
Joe Biden may be the only person out there that he could beat. But it's going to be a great time to be a talk show host.
Man, honestly, let me ask you another thing. Do you think, I mentioned earlier, I think it's possible that Donald Trump will say, forget the second debate. It would be just more embarrassment for our nation. The man is incapable. And I can't imagine whether the Biden campaign really wants to do another one. How could they make him any better between now and then in September? He's going to get any better with anything? Is there anything? 16 people for 7.5 days, and that's what they came up with? My God.
They're blaming it on Botox now, too.
Yeah, and he had a cold, so.
Yeah,
They're saying Botox. They're actually saying Botox?
Yeah, the reason Joe Biden didn't smile more was because his facial muscles were so paralyzed by the Botox.
I'm not surprised. And did you see his eyes when all of a sudden when he was doing that, spanking our gang alfalfa thing or something? Holy smokes. Whew, scary.
Okay, now say something good about Biden last night.
Let's see. He didn't fall down.
Yeah, he walked off stage.
Yeah, he did not fall down. He had to be helped off stage.
Upright the whole time.
Yeah, but he did not fall down. I have nothing good to say about the man. He's a scoundrel and a criminal and a traitor to his country, and I hate what he stands for.
I think one of the high points last night was that he exhibited or he remembered what he was supposed to say when it came to the Ukraine, Article 5, NATO, that if we don't help Ukraine, then who's next? Poland, Hungary, Article 5, we'll be in a war.
Yeah.
We've got to help Ukraine deal with Putin.
Yeah, well, after 16 people in 7.5 days, he remembered the one calling point that he thought would make a big end.
Well, at least it was an important one.
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
Well, at the end of the day, what's more important, funding Ukraine or helping the southern border? I mean,
well, again, that's all he had. He tried to make a thing about lowering drug prices, and that bit him in the ass because he's the one who raised them and brought him back down again. So I mean, he didn't. And by the way, every time he said, "Oh, and by the way," he remembered the fact that he had forgotten earlier in an earlier comment that he remembered to bring up again. I mean, it's like me and my telling stories 9 different ways from Sunday, and finally hoping to get there at the end, but doing it in a very bad way, which is why I can never be president. Of course, the only reason.
It's sad. He couldn't complete a sentence without his voice trailing off or without mumbling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were times I looked at Donna and said, "What did he just say?" And she looked at me and said, "You think I understood it?"
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's shameful.
It was a train wreck. The Democrats deserve it.
Yeah.
I don't know that Biden does because he can't help it right now. His mind is, and it's accelerating, Kimmer.
Yeah,
it's getting
compared to the State of the Union address. Compared to the July 4th, or what is it, a year ago when he came out with the Marines and the screaming red fireball of hell, complaining half America was against the country and so forth, screaming and yelling, and the State of the Union is pumping and groaning. This is deterioration like we've never seen before. And it's obvious. Everybody saw it. They can't fake us anymore,
I'm just going to be glued to the news. I try again to be a devotee of my favorite book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Flip.
Crap. Yeah.
I know it, but it's just going to be so damned interesting for a while.
I can't wait for the next poll. I wonder what the next poll is after the debate is going to come out. What that's going to be like, and what the demographics are, and everything else. Democrats, Republicans. Oh my! Neil Bortz, Semper Fi, my friend. Be careful out there, and hi to your sweet missus, and look out for the nutbags on the road, and have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Okay, buddy. I'm afraid to go outside. There's bears here.
Oh, lucky you. I love looking at bears. All right, Neil.
What?
Thanks. Yeah, bear. There you go. Well, you left half a sentence. Thank you, Neil. See you around 5:20. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. That Holy Crap in Sports is coming up here in a second. Look out, it's Kimber. We've got your afternoons covered, all right. And the Morning Extra's got your drive-in from 6 to 10 a.m., too.
You want to talk about desperation. Desperation is telling the American people that no matter what you're seeing, it's fake. Everybody knows those videos weren't fake. They're not deep fakes. They're not AI fakes. They're not anything except for the truth. No, nobody is taking advantage of these situations. Nothing is fake. Everything you saw was true.
Well, we've officially hit, according to KJP, 1984. Do not believe your eyes and ears. What we tell you is the finality of the truth, and that is all that is going to exist. But the reason why you don't see these videos is because this administration have made it virtually impossible for you to see these videos. You have to see them on the internet in order to be able to watch them. And so they're trying to hide the fact that this man is clearly in decline, and it's accelerating.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
It is so important to prepare in case of any emergency, and there's one place you can do that, and that's True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway. But before you get into preparing, you need to know everything that goes into preparing. That's why they have all these great classes. They always have an intro to emergency preparedness class. What about a bug out bag? Make sure that you go to their class on that. And also, don't forget, they also do blood drives, everything else. It's your one-stop shop for preparedness. True Prep, Marietta, Cobb Parkway, or online, trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
All right, look out. Our 5 o'clock hour is sponsored by Lee Brandt Jewelers, where luxury jewelry and watches are affordable. Drop by their store in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com. Coming up, the debate sports angle. But first, holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
I think a little girl going, it's sports right now. Braves home for 3 against the Pirates starting tonight after a disappointing road trip that got off that great start in the Bronx, winning 2 of 3 from the Yankees, and then dropping 2 of 3 in St. Louis and getting shut out yesterday on the south side of Chicago by the worst team in baseball, the White Sox. Embarrassing. The offense could not support Chris Sale, who was pitching against his former team, which is doubly embarrassing. Something has to be done about the bats. We're halfway through the season now. It's inconsistent. Even without Acuna, this is a big problem. There's no excuse to go from the best offense maybe in the history of baseball last year to this. This is completely inconsistent. I don't understand what's going on.
And what's the answer? You can't. The batters. What do they tell them to change their stance? Or
no.
You can't change what they're doing. It's just a question of something. We don't know what it is.
You can change what they're doing. You can sit some of them on the bench and go get somebody else.
Well, that's pretty rash.
Which is what he's done. That's what he's done. No, it's not. He does it every year. He did it in 21 and brought the World Series.
Well, then tell him to get going then.
Guys.
All right, well, then let's get the hell going. Nobody waiting for him. But you're right. Absolutely right. God, I'm going to call him right now.
You just walk across the street.
I'm sure. Here we go. Hey.
Tonight, the 1-3 Martin Perez, a lefty for the Bucks, against the 4-4 Charlie Morton for Atlanta. Ramon Laureano has been fighting a sore back. That's why he hasn't been in. AJ Minter will have another rehab appearance on Sunday. Adam Duvall, who's part of the problem, is back in the starting lineup for the 3rd straight game, despite going 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts over the last 2 games. I've been watching him the last month. He always seems to come up with runners in scoring position, and it always is dismal. Well, even when he hits it hard, he hits it right at somebody. It's bad luck as well. But he's just not having a good year. I just don't understand what's going on. Luke Williams will get the start in left field. He's going to bat 9th. Luke Williams in left field, you're thinking...
Well,
Bryce Elder sent back down to Gwinnett. But, hey, they're still in the playoffs. Right? They're still leading the wild card last I checked.
Well, okay. It's early.
All you got to do is get
still June. I mean, we're still in June.
Yeah, still. You got half a season to get this right. Yeah. Costly loss for the Phillies last night, just hours after being elected to the All-Star game as the top vote getter in the National League. Bryce Harper left in the loss to the Marlins with a hamstring pull. Looks pretty bad. And Kyle Schwarber left with a groin pull.
Ooh.
Now, Schwarber was playing in the field for only the 3rd time this season. He felt something give when he made a throw. The trainer asked where the pain was, and Kyle pointed to his groin. And the trainer says, well, I don't like that spot. Really? The groin is usually a place you do not want to associate pain with, with anything, but still, I don't like that spot.
Good idea there, no.
Both Harper and Schwarber have gone on the injured list.
Oh, boy.
The Hawks traded forward A.J. Griffin to Houston yesterday for the number 44 pick in the second round, and then they flipped the pick with Miami, which held the number 43 pick, and selected Serbian guard Nikola Jurisic. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, or Jurisic or something. The Hawks will weigh their options and whether they're going to end up signing him to a contract or stashing him overseas. He's a Serbian player averaging 14 points and 3 rebounds, 1 assist last season with Mega Basket. Which sounds like basically a meal deal at Zaxby's, but whatever. And you may need some
I'll have the Mega Basket and
well, they have the Beast right now, some Beast thing going. So I'll have the Mega Basket with the Beast. Well, anyway, as for Griffin, a first-round selection of the Hawks just 2 years ago, 16th overall pick out of Duke, was in 72 games as a rookie. Played only 20 games last season. There was some stuff going on. He averaged 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist as a rookie. Battling issues in the second season and missed games because of personal reasons, family stuff, and he was inactive. He returned briefly in December, so it was pretty much a lost year, and so they've traded him. And the Hawks have a lot of drama, but another draftee is more today. A lot of people surprised when Duke center Kyle Filipowski, nice Irish kid, was not chosen in the first round and fell to 32nd overall on the second day. Well, now, Kyle's mom and brother are accusing his fiancée, of Mormon grooming and brainwashing the player to the point that he cut off his family with a goodbye email. Kyle is just 20 years old. His fiancée is 28. Is she related to Dr. Jill?
Well, and the thing was, she was going out with him when he was in high school. As I recall, and I think she went to his prom or something, and they said that's why she was grooming him, because she's 6 or 8 years older. And I think I was reading, like you said, the family's now not talking to him. And was he the guy that they were bragging about on the pregame stuff for the draft that makes everything the best shooter in the draft?
No,
big white guy for the big white kid.
That was Shepard from Kentucky. He went.
Oh, that's
third.
That's right.
He's a great shooter out there. So guess who drafted Kyle Filipowski, Mormon groomed?
Salt Lake City.
Exactly. The Utah Jazz. It's like some vast conspiracy since high school for this kid.
Man, yeah.
And the Lakers drafted LeBron's son, Bronny James.
Oh, they did.
That's where he did.
All right, well, good.
Daryl points out that the annual Yellowstone bison petting competition begins July 15th, in case you have a summer vacation plan you need.
Bison petting? Is that the...
The bison petting, which is right next to the people flipping contest the Bisons hold every year on July 16th. So. I still have the T-shirt. It shows a bison throwing somebody through the air. It says, "Fly Yellowstone Airways."
Yeah, I've been up close. You've been up close. You've been up close with Buffalo.
You walk to the what's that? Not Old Feller, Old Yeller, but Old Faithful.
Old Faithful. Yeah.
And you can walk and touch them as you're walking by, which they do not recommend.
But be careful. Yeah, they're not. They're wild. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of excuses why golfers pull out of a golf tournament. Pulled hamstrings, sore back muscles, being arrested in Louisville. But Nelly Korda takes the cake. The world's #1 female golfer is pulled out of a ladies' European Tour event in England next week because a dog bit her. The 25-year-old Korda won the tourney last year, says, "I regret to announce I must withdraw from next week's tournament in London. On Saturday in Seattle, I was bitten by a dog, and I need time to receive treatment and recover fully." Did not say what kind of dog or where the dog bite on her was, but first rule of meeting a new dog, you always look at the owner and say, "Does your dog bite?"
Does he bite? I thought you said your dog does not bite.
That is not my dog.
That is not my dog.
Okay. That is the only joke. I went and saw that movie with my father. That's the only joke my father laughed at. And he says, "I've heard that joke."
I don't tell the monkey what to do.
The monkey's a businessman. I am a musician. Well, anyway. You say you want to shoot your age, Kimmer, right?
Yes, I do.
Want to shoot your age.
I do want to shoot my age, yeah.
You should aim higher. You should be Frank Binsell.
Yeah.
The 56-year-old got a pair of aces, back-to-back holes in the second round of the U.S. Senior Open at Newport Country Club this morning.
Holy cow, back-to-back aces.
Ace the 184-yard fourth hole, then followed it with another hole-in-one in the 203-yard fifth. Both are par 3. While consecutive holes are exceedingly rare, it's also unusual for a course to have par 3s on 2 straight holes.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Has played in... Yeah, he's played in 6 PGA Tour events. He's never even made a cut. Also had a tough time afterwards on the Seaside course. He opened at a 4-over, had back-to-back bogeys after he had 2 straight aces.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
That's golf for you right there.
Well, I've had one hole-in-one, and that was it.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never had one. So. The U.S. men's soccer team is in jeopardy of being back to Copa Americana after losing 2-1 to Panama. Panama. With a population of just 4 million.
Wow.
Yeah, Dennis O'Hare. That's 330 million less than we have. They beat us with a population of 4 million. The American team was short one player because one of our Einsteins punched a Panamanian early in the match and got red carded and tossed out. Okay, you can't use your hands.
Yeah, punching either. I mean.
You can't use your hands. I always thought punching a Panamanian was a euphemism anyway.
Well,
but anyway.
there you go.
Georgia's soccer players are in line for an unexpected payday at the Euro 2024 after a billionaire former prime minister said he will pay them more than $10 million because they beat Portugal.
Wow.
He will double it if they beat Spain on Sunday. The payments will not be made until after the tournament is over for fear the players will immediately pack up their family and move to civilization. Bill Belichick's main squeeze, the 23-year-old cheerleader, has been spotted driving around a brand spanking new Porsche Macan S, which cost around $75K.
Yeah.
It pays to please daddy, or granddaddy in this case.
It pays to please granddaddy, the old
sent him a script.
The granddaddy of the sports granddaddy.
No, that's not the sound.
Daddy. Now we're talking. We get it there. We get there in the end. It's all together.
Well, that's what she said. But anyway, I guess that's enough. That's all we need.
Oh, well, now, okay, 4:33. I have a couple of, after we do a little cowbunga here, I'm guessing, and then we'll have a little more cup stuff, and the Flounder's Funny, and right back to the debate, and some of the sound bites you haven't heard, and also the golfing segment of the debate last night. I couldn't believe it. Talk about childish, and talk about idiot. That's coming up next. 5:33, Kevin, Pete, and Flounder right here. Friday. The legend Neil Bortz is only on XTRA 106.3. Hey, it's a camera. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Is there any truth to the saying that better the devil you know than the devil you don't know? You know Trump. You know he's a big mouth. You also know he's decisive and loves America. The devil you know. Joe Biden? You don't even know who's yanking his chain right now. The devil you don't know. Think about it.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on XTRA 106.3 or listen anytime on the XTRA 106.3 app.
Looking to keep your kids busy this summer? The Atlanta Braves youth baseball and softball clinics offer nonstop fun with an emphasis on teamwork, attitude, and healthy competition. The unique baseball and softball programs will help players ages 6 through 12 develop on and off the field. July's locations include Norcross, Marietta, and Swanee, but make sure to check out all the Metro Atlanta options. And don't miss the softball clinic at Truist Park on July 17th. Visit Braves.com/clinics to sign up today. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
Have you considered securing your family's future, protecting your hard-earned assets, navigating complex legal matters with ease? Nelson Elder Care Law is here to guide and empower you and your loved ones. As a family-owned and family-focused business, our mission is to exceed your expectations, offering absolute assurance and peace of mind. With our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust and expertise in customized estate planning, Medicaid crisis solutions, probate administration, guardianship, and conservatorship, Nelson Elder Care Law protects what matters most to you. Imagine a team dedicated to safeguarding your legacy every step of the way. Our flat fees ensure transparency, and our customized plans prioritize your family's specific needs. Are you worried about protecting your family and your legacy after you're gone? Let us help you ensure you're absolutely protected from whatever curveballs life may throw your way. Schedule a complimentary legacy planning meeting with our legal team in Marietta or Woodstock today. contact us at 678-250-9355 or visit at nelsoneldercarelaw.com.
And Flounder, let's do this. Pete, we were watching the debate last night, and this guy, toward the very end, it got a little bit childish at points. Oh no, you're the sucker. Yeah, you're the loser. You know, it kind of got back and forth. And one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in any kind of a debate, especially in big time like presidential or vice presidential politics debate, they started talking about golf. And wait till you hear the outrageous claims that President Baby Killer makes concerning his comparing himself to Donald Trump.
That I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way, and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced him. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 225 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's what anyway, just take a look at what he says he is, and take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie that he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
But I have, you know
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
But let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
let's not act like children.
They're trying to get back to the actual, and by the way, I will say out loud, I was actually more impressed than I thought I would be with the 2 debate host people at CNN. It didn't appear to me that they were deliberately trying to help him with his answers or anything, and they could have been a lot worse to Donald Trump than after calling him a Nazi for several years. So
the only issue I saw with it was even when they would ask a question, they would just go back to the previous statement that either Biden or Trump said and debate that.
Yeah. Well, but again,
but they never interjected.
Right.
They didn't interject Trump or Biden. So.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought for them, really, I thought that was remarkable, actually, and it turned out to me that they did not interfere with the debate. The key to me was whether they were going to inject themselves into the debate, and it did not appear to me that they did, which is a good point. What?
Charlie Clerk claims that when Biden went to the Hyatt Regency after the debate last night and he was saying goodbye to everybody, that he said, "Thank you, North Carolina."
Oh, well, I checked that, and he said, "I'm headed to North Carolina."
Okay.
In fact, I think it was Governor Kemp's wife or something. Somebody was quoting, and that she had heard that he had said, "Good night, North Carolina," which is what it sounded like. But did you actually hear
I actually heard it because he said, "Good night, headed to North Carolina."
Oh, okay. But see, I like my version better. They said, "Good night, North Carolina."
My story's better.
Yeah, in fact, that's just what the media does. Again, the biggest thing that I got from last night was the final proof for people who maybe not have been convinced. If you saw the debate last night and his performance, you clearly have to understand they've been hiding from you the information. They've been hiding from you the truth about that man. There's no way that most of America would not see him last night. Just that soundbite we just heard him. He's going to talk like this. That's the president. He said, it was a 6 handicap. It was an 8 handicap. Oh, my God. He's just a senile old man. And again,
for 7 more months, he's the president.
Yeah, and 4 more years. You want him negotiating with Russia, China, and North Korea, and determining our policy in Ukraine? Ugh, dear Lord.
And Trump said that multiple times last night, that foreign leaders see us as weak with Biden behind the wheel.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no way to go but down with this guy. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in September. Is there going to be another debate in September? That'll be, by the way, their convention is in August, and so if they kick him out, then then Trump will have somebody new to debate. But again, I don't know what are they going to do? I mean, this is incredible. I have no idea. What can they do?
I think some of them have basically decided, okay, Trump wins. He's only there for 4 years.
Yeah.
We will resist him and block him politically as much as we can. We will riot in the streets.
Yeah.
We will burn the cities. We will make this place a living hell for 4 years. Yeah. And then we'll put somebody up and says, do you want to bring back normal?
Yeah.
Do you want to make normal sexy again? We'll elect a Democrat. We'll get rid of all this craziness that they will be causing.
Well, in fact, you're right, because that's exactly what they did thanks to the George Floyd business, and all of a sudden riots all over America for years, taking over Seattle and Portland,
George
things
Floyd,
like that.
COVID.
And then the Biden people say, well, we got to get rid of these mean tweets and all this chaos and all that. Like CNN was saying last night, Trump's whole administration was all chaos and people angry and screaming and rioting and stuff like that. We need to bring back normalcy to America, and that was what they did before, and it worked. And again, it worked because they covered up what he stood for, what he was going on, what the platform was. Nobody knew, other than we're going to be not mean anymore. And remember, he said, anybody says anything mean in my administration is fired immediately. People saying, boy, that sounds great. What a nice change. And they voted for the guy they knew nothing about, and now you've seen exactly what happened as a result of it. And the media's doing it again. Tried to do it. In fact,
ultra left-wing radical agenda.
Yep. We'll play a couple of sound bites coming up here, including even the morning show Joe, what's it, MSNBC guy, has had to eat his words, and you'll hear him actually eating the meal himself with a fork and spoon coming up. 5:45, it's 5:45, another Flounders Funny coming up here, too. And some more stuff on the thing with the other thing. And more of that thing you stick in your tummy for 20 minutes. And to find out or 20 seconds, I guess
it's your leg.
Yeah.
Your leg.
No, it's your stomach.
I saw the leg.
Oh, did you? Well, I think it's the stomach. Anyway, let's go. We'll figure it out. It's 5:45.
If you love news and talk, you have to connect with the biggest personalities in the South at thepodcastpark.com. It's more original Atlanta content from Atlanta's hometown talk crew. From legal news to sports and politics, and even archives of interviews from years past. Find the podcast that you love and subscribe everywhere you get podcasts.
Hey, it's Tug from my friends, the Frost family of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about their family's company all the time here on Extra 106.3. First Liberty has helped hundreds of small businesses grow by saying yes when the big banks say no. On Wall Street, opportunities to earn big returns are everywhere. But for Main Street investors, those opportunities are hard to find. Until now. Our First Liberty notes are now open to qualified Main Street investors, paying interest rates of 8 to 13% while helping fuel the growth of small businesses right here in Georgia. With a few basic qualifications and with as little as $25,000, qualified Main Street investors just like you can earn an 8 to 13% interest rate. If this is you, they'd love to hear from you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and consider joining the First Liberty family today. That's FirstLibertyGA.com. FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify their SEC accredited investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers. Howard Brothers has everything for your yard, but they love cooking on Big Green Egg and Traeger grills too. You can get all of your egg accessories and Traeger needs at Howard Brothers stores in Duluth, Lula, and Oakwood. In fact, they've got their Traeger grills at their Athens Power Equipment location too. What are you cooking tonight? Is it going to be grilled chicken, maybe some baby back ribs, pulled pork, perhaps some brisket? Get to Howard Brothers and get all you need for superior flavor and perfect meals every single time. It's time to get a Big Green Egg or a Traeger wood pellet grill. Don't go to the big box stores. Go to see the grill experts at Howard Brothers.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now, the security riddle of the day. What's less secure than a fake safe from a furniture or big box store? Joe Biden's fake border policy, of course. But hey, there is good news. This time next year, Joe Biden will not be president. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Build a wall around your valuables with a safe from the Safe House. We have certified delivery crews to install your safe. With over 30 years in the safe business, the Safe House is the place to buy safe in Georgia. So go to AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
They say good fences make good neighbors. That's true, but what about great fences? This is Jim Niarchos from the All Four Seasons Home Show, and I'm inviting you to tune in this Saturday morning at 9 when our guest will be Scott Seitz of First Fence. He'll be sharing tips and advice on choosing the right fence contractor and avoiding potential problems by taking shortcuts. Installing a fence in the wrong place invites legal trouble and gets expensive. First Fence has the answers right here on the All Four Seasons Home Show on Extra 106.3.
Mike Rowe here with a few thoughts on my favorite sweatshirt. A classic zip-up hoodie that used to be navy blue but has since faded to what the fashionistas call a distressed indigo. It's 13 years old, soft as a flannel bathrobe, and after a few hundred dirty jobs, demonstrably and undeniably indestructible. This is the kind of sweatshirt girlfriends like to permanently borrow. But I've held on to this one because I got it from American Giant. American Giant makes all their stuff right here in the USA so they can control every link in their own supply chain. That matters because when you buy American Giant, you not only get great quality, you create jobs for people in factory towns all over the country. No pressure, but if you give a damn about the business of making things in America, you got to support the companies who are doing it right. Go to American-Giant.com/Mike to get 20% off your first order. That's American-Giant.com/Mike.
A great song. Bobby Darin for you. That you've got an upper wall. Call my own. I want a dream lover. Bobby Darin, 1959. Number one in Britain with Dream Lover. The American singer's first British number one featured Neil Sedaka on the piano, and it only made number two in America. Bobby Darin. There you go. Let's see. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how you doing? 5:50 on the clock, 10 before 6 o'clock. Another Founders Funny coming up here. Birthday list includes Gil Bellows. He was that guy on Ally McBeal. Gil Bellows is 57 today. Kathy Bates, diabolical star of Misery and so many other things. Fried Green Tomatoes, wasn't she one in doing that? She did a lot of things. Kathy Bates.
Yeah, she was in Fried Green Tomatoes.
Yeah. Kathy Bates is 76 years old today. And on this day in history, 1978, more Supreme Court rulings. The Supreme Court ordered the medical school at University of California, Davis to admit Alan Backey. Alan Backey had clearly been the victim of racial discrimination. the reverse kind. He was rejected because he was white. And in 1978, the Supreme Court said that's racism, whether you like it or not. And the Citadel, 1996, voted to admit women, ending a policy that lasted at the Citadel for 153 years. And then the South Carolina Military School said, here comes Shannon Faulkner. And Shannon Faulkner, who did not put down male or female, just put down Shannon as her first name. And so they didn't know it was a girl, so they elected her. And when they found out it was a girl, they said, wait a minute, you're a girl. You can't come. So she sued. Anyway, years later, it took quite some time. By the time she showed up, she had gained about 60 pounds, totally out of shape. She lasted about 4 days. They were making fun of her. She couldn't do anything. I mean, it was horrible. And she was just a wreck before because of all the court stuff and then all the comments and everything. And when she showed up, she was huge and had no way of making it. And she finally left. So anyway. All right, 404-741-1230 if you're going to
Oreos are a hell of a drug.
Well, I kind of felt bad because, they did have women eventually who did the thing, and you have to do it if you want to use federal funds and state funds, stuff like that. So anyway. So a little bit more about the debate last night. If you hadn't heard it, let's play CNN's John King. Again, even the Democrats were going nuts last night. If you ever saw some of the video or some of the pictures this morning of people who had their cameras and photos equipment inside Democratic Party central headquarters and stuff, when the first time that President Baby Killer White Trash made one of his goofs or froze up, they were going, oh, God, and they were all looking like, oh, it's over, it's over. Even CNN's John King had a couple of negative comments about their debate.
Minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists, it involves elected officials, it involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket, and they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call? Because they feel this debate was so terrible.
And there's also a call for their using the 25th Amendment. Having Carmela Sidepiece, the shiftless and lazy vice president, call for the 25th Amendment to have, I think it's got to be a majority. I don't think it's all. I think it's majority of the cabinet has to vote, and you will take him out of office until he's proven fit for office again, which would be never if he's senile. Yeah. But again, then you got Carmela as your president. Who wants that? I don't want her to become the first. Oh, my God. And by the way, this whole thing with him and whether to get rid of him now or not is all his fault from the beginning because he picked her as his running mate. If he had picked anybody who was, 45 years old and people liked it all, we wouldn't be having this problem. It wouldn't be an issue. But he picked a woman who never got a single vote. She dropped out because everybody hated her.
Their DEI, love of DEI, is what's put them in this position.
That's right.
If they put somebody competent in there, there'd be a shoo-in.
Exactly. And now, because she is black and female, how are you going to handle her? They're going to have to try to get one of the Supreme Court members to resign, the one who's got cancer or something, and put her on the Supreme Court to get her off the ticket for the party to get somebody else in there. Which, my God, oh, my Lord. Can you imagine her on the Supreme Court?
It's the end of the Republic, the stupidity of this.
And Flounder, let's do, in case you missed it again, Joe Scarborough. You're going to hear two quick sound bites. The first part is when Joe Scarborough bragging about President White Trash and then eating his words with knife and fork this morning on MSNBC.
But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. This is a battle for the future of American democracy.
And here's the next clip.
And now is a good time. In June, thank God. In June, and not October, in June, this is the last chance for Democrats to decide whether this man we've known and loved for a very long time is up to the task.
Well, he's not up to the task. Even Chris Cillizza, the former CNN guy who's been a Trump hater from the beginning, this debate is a total, complete disaster for Biden. He looked old. His answers trailed off repeatedly. It was hard to understand. You just heard him even on the golf thing. He said, oh, it was a 6 handicap. No, it was an 8 handicap. Oh, my Lord. I mean, it was horribly embarrassing. China released statements saying, boy, you really guys know how to entertain people. And they're making fun of us, saying it was just a big comedy show. Good Lord. New York Times, Biden's age is a political problem, and it got me yelled at 2 weeks ago. And now that's all they're talking about is his incompetence. All the Democrats said, we don't know what to do. Oh, Putty Tat said, my bad debates are horrible. I've been there myself, but we still got to support him.
I'm old enough to remember a time when Mao was crapping his pants and couldn't find his way to the Hong Kong Phooey. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, something's got to happen. There's no way that they can win this. I mean, is it possible that people in America would not care enough about the future of our country to say, I hate Donald Trump so much, I'm going to keep voting for this Democrat?
Yes, because they're that stupid. 40, 50 years of indoctrination from socialist teachers. They're idiots.
And Dr. Jill last night had to help him off the stage, raising even more questions. The cameras captured the 975-year-old president's cuckolding wife taking her husband by the hand and slowly sideways leading him down the three steps after his showdown where he was murdered last night by Donald Trump in front of God and everybody. Question, Chip Roy from Texas, a congressman. Who's the commander-in-chief? Showing a close-up of Dr. Jill, the cuckold queen, leading him down the stairs. Wow, you didn't have to watch the debate. This says it all. And somebody said, well, you know, my knees are bone on bone to the age of 60, so I get the study is hard walking, but the problem was the previous 90 minutes. It had nothing to do with him going down the steps. It was what he did for 90 minutes.
Sage Steele used to be on ESPN, tweeted, shame on Joe Biden for allowing this to go on for so very long. Shameful actions as a wife, shameful actions as a human being.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one who's been blasting her as the enabler-in-chief, and she is responsible. And again, if she had taken him by the neck and said, Joe, you won, God bless America, you did it, you're in the history books, you'll always be a president. After he had won the election. And then she said, no, that's it. We're going to retire. You're going to take 4 years to get everything straightened out, help your party, and then we're done. And they would have, if they had done that, they would have had 4 years to groom somebody to take over and continue the process, and it wouldn't have to be the helter-skelter stuff that's going on. What a bunch of idiots. Who was responsible for allowing this to happen? I guess, who was running? Who else was going to be elected president? Who's the old Indian girl from Massachusetts? You know, and she wasn't going to get elected.
Warren.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren. Yeah. And I mean, who else was the old guy from Bernie Sanders? They weren't going to elect him either. I mean,
it shows there are no adults. There's no adults running things anymore like when we were younger.
Right.
They're children.
And they're power hungry. It's like, oh, Bob, we got this. Let's get some more. They were just being greedy and selfish. Even if he was the only candidate who had a chance. And it was also that racist, lying Clyburn from South Carolina that got him elected. Clyburn made the deal.
He came out today.
Yeah.
He's worried, too.
Yeah,
he's not happy.
Well, it was his fault. But again, even so, even if they picked him and he won, all of them should have said, oh my God, we did it. Now we have 4 years to come up with somebody to continue carrying the torch. And no one stopped them from saying, we're just going to keep going at this? Mm-hmm. I mean, how is that possible? Oh, my God, I blew the whole time.
That's all right. We'll get it Monday.
Oh, my God, Flounder, I'm so sorry. And P, I blew the whole, I just blew the show. We were going to do a Flounder's Funny. All right, I only 2 Flounder's Funnies for Monday. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. I definitely got to go. You're killing me. With Pete Davis and Flounder and Lucas in the back. Have a great weekend, boys. Hoorah, Semper Fi, Christine, sing me home, baby. I'm all yours, darling. Herp and hoop, look out.
Start your day the right way with Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. Every morning from 6 to 10 a.m. on WFOM Marietta, Extra 106.3.